That usually services.
Yep. So this last year, they're cheaper than anybody else around here. Even how.
Somebody gonna do that, we need to add to them.
Yeah, we gotta add it because it's gotta be in our 30th. Yeah.
Can't we just?
Yeah, but that's has to be seen. Yeah. To tell the
Oh, okay.
to service it.
They don't go like that. It's something.
I don't care how it pays. Not about it. But. Board needs to have.
No, I'm trying to remember what I was actually wanting to do. I got it. Take that out of there. I'd like money. But the whole arm, gonna get you where you want to find. It's like 3 words. Like,
And is I2,
I can read it. Yeah, you
can we
now.
do I2 separate from J5 and 6? They're all the same kind of, they're all the same topic. Should they be all discussed together? Or
Well,
why are they
it's-
separated out like
It's
that?
pretty much different than the short-term rental. The moratorium just stops all new stuff right now. Doesn't affect what's happening right now. Does that make sense? That one we probably ought to approve or seriously consider approving to get a moratorium so we could get an ordinance in place. The other one is more getting an ordinance in place and getting them made and all that. I think that's up there because that was unfinished business because she talked about that last meeting, Laura did,
Hmm,
and then the other is new business.
that's the same attachment in I2 is also in J5, right?
Is it?
I think so. Yeah,
I2 is the moratorium.
and so I think J5 is as well, the third bullet point. So maybe that's a duplicate.
Oh,
Item.
yeah, I think that is. Yeah,
Should we just scratch I2 and leave it all under J? I guess we can talk about that when we approve the agenda, right?
I lost my, J5, right?
Yes.
I think that was talking about enforcement actions, so what we want to do on enforcement actions. We can combine them both, though. We'll just move I2 down to J5.
Okay.
I'm okay with it. Well, 7:02, let's call the meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mary? Gary?
Here.
Ken's here, Jason?
Here.
Ira?
Yeah.
All present, welcome everybody. We're on number D right now is agenda package, for tonight. We would like to take, item I2 and move it to J5 for the discussion of the enforcement and the short-term moratorium on short-term rental. So can I get a motion to approve the agenda as corrected?
We have some more.
We have a couple other things we have to do.
What did I miss?
No,
Well, nothing yet.
Okay,
I'd like to add just an item for new business. And talk about the chairs that we have,
the what?
chairs for the whole, all chairs.
Where do you want to do that?
It doesn't matter where.
We'll make it J14,
Sure.
J14 chairs. What else?
We need to move J4. Put that before J2. J4 is the,
J4 before J2.
yeah, J4 is considering setting a recycling transfer station, and then J2 is the budget amendment, so for a better flow, the recycling thing, J4 should be done before the budget adjustment, so we don't have to jump back and forth. And another one is, we need to add wherever, the agreement with, Kerwin Electric, who services our generator here. They serviced it last year. And, we have to have that in by, the end of September for them to set their schedule. And when I called around for servicing that last year, they were the cheapest and their rates are the same. So we should add that to the agenda to approve that.
Would like to make that J15 then after J14?
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
J4, that resolution is an old resolution. There is no resolution to make any changes. It's just for us to look at it and see if we want to make any changes. So J4 doesn't change anything tonight. J4 is consider setting the fee for recyclable collections at the transfer station. And then you have a 2021-12 resolution that adopted the fee schedule, and we would just have that fee schedule to see if there's something we want to look at, not necessarily do it tonight.
In order for this, to move forward for the transfer station and the building, we need an approval from the board.
That for a fee for what? Renewable or for
Recyclables.
The budget
recyclable?
amendment,
Right now, it's $1 a bag. Everything's $1 a bag.
The budget amendment that's in the packet here,
you put money into revenues.
that's
I
right,
put it in based on $1 because we don't have a fee schedule.
right, we never
That's
did,
why.
Pardon?
we never discussed that,
Correct.
okay, I think.
Well, you're doing a budget amendment, you have to put something in there for revenue, right?
Right, so he wants to discuss that first before. we-
Okay, that's fine. I don't have a problem. Did you get all that?
Here, we had to add that.
J4 before J2,
I did add it.
J14 added to the bottom, J15 Gen Tech.
I didn't add the budget with the resolution.
Okay,
Let me double check.
can I get a motion to approve the agenda as corrected? J4 before J2, J14 chair at the end, J15 after the chair, Gen X. And I2 before J5
Combined with,
combined.
you good?
Fine. I think I have another addition.
Got another one?
Yeah. I meant to put it. Sorry. Give me a second. Yeah, after J1, regarding the payroll, I created a budget amendment that I meant to put in here, but I didn't, so I can print it really quick. Additions. Addition to new business, a budget amendment for payroll processing.
That's gonna be now J1.
J2,
It's gonna be J2 now,
yep,
and it was J what?
it wasn't.
And
How about J1A?
There you go. I don't know if we can do that, but yeah, fine. All right, sorry for all that.
yeah, that is a lot. We all done?
If you have all that, I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Jason made a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second.
Gary made a second. All in favor, say aye. Ayes carry. Public comment? Mario?
Yes, thank you. I have a petition I wanna run. Fine, thank you.
Okay,
That's it?
Yes, sir.
Could you state your name and address for the record?
Marius Falkus, 10272 51st Street, Grand Junction, Michigan.
So he's submitting a petition.
Petition for.
Could you spell the last name, please?
FALKUS.
This is a petition regarding short-term rentals. Should we just put this to that agenda item? It's pretty thick packet.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Karen?
Blight enforcement is not a statutory duty for any trustee, but Gary has been volunteering with zero compensation for overseeing that work. The board may also be entertaining a police power ordinance for short-term rentals. Managing the costs of enforcement should be part of the discussion. I think that a 6-month moratorium regarding short-term rentals is a reasonable step while addressing the matter. If I had my choice of what businesses would locate here, I would certainly favor a restaurant or farmer's market over a battery storage facility, but without infrastructure, our options are limited. I strongly suspect the state will permit Gypsum Peak regardless of lawsuit, so I'm trying to find the positives. Our poor little township could use a financial shot in the arm. Last September, Supervisor Spicer wrote in an email that the Gypsum Peak project might result in being able to lower taxes. Yet now he is proposing 4 tax increase measures even before the open house, so that confused me. Since the supervisor has requested some general operating funds be transferred to the fire fund, it makes me wonder why it was written in the cemetery ballot here in the packet It was written that the cemetery taxation would go toward daytime certified firefighter and medical first responder. Now, that's probably a simple cut and paste error, or perhaps a Freudian slip. I think that trying out a payroll service is worthwhile and currently affordable. I only request that the board officials continue to review it for accuracy. I see there's two new, emergency services applicants, and I'm just wondering if they live here and are they available weekdays? For supervisors' oral objections at July meeting, along with recent Facebook comments, it appears that he finds it acceptable for our transfer station attendant to furnish his own shelter. The board recognized years ago that that was a bad idea. The supervisor himself had recommended $30,000 for a larger building back in 23-24, but now I see that, on the budget amendment, he had lowered the board approved amount of $9,700 for attendant shelter down to only $7,000. I find that unacceptable. And I know that Supervisor Spicer is trying to work through tight budget constraints and has referred to a train wreck coming for the emergency services fund. But I do believe he has had a hand in driving that train. The fire fund was managing to save toward capital equipment on 2.0 mils. And that was pretty much until the quick response came into being, and that was in 2019. So the question in my mind should have gone to the voters then in 2019, before we exhausted capital expenditures toward fire trucks. If there was a 5-year plan at that time, I never saw one. I don't think it was presented. And I'm quite sure that the township has denied the use of the parking lot for garage sales in the past. And I think that was just to be consistent, that it's either an all or nothing regarding the use of the parking lot. And maybe there could even be a community garage sale once or twice a year rather than individual garage sales. Thank you.
Anyone else? Good.
My name is Marcia Long, been a resident of Grand Junction for about 16 years now. And this is my first meeting, so I don't wish to cover things. I'm gonna ask for a couple quick questions first. First, I wanna thank you guys so much for trying to stop this gypsum thing, because it's a nightmare. These people are unethical, they are fraudulent, they are destructive. Right now, they are being sued by 3 different countries to the tune of over $1 billion and 1,100 million on top of that for not paying their taxes. So how we think that's gonna relieve our taxes, I don't know, because it doesn't sound to me like they pay their bills. This lithium battery storage is a nightmare. The process that it goes through, I think our fire chief might be familiar with the deflagration or deflagration. I'm not even sure if I'm saying it right. I've read it. I've never heard of it before. It is basically an explosion.
That's local bad stuff. Yep.
Yeah, it's basically an explosion waiting to happen. And these things, they're like, have you ever seen the show Gremlins? You can't get it wet. You can't feed it after time. Wait, I don't think it has anything to do with food, but you know, that's the idea that, it is a high explosive that mixes fuel and oxidizes. And when it explodes bigger, like they blow entire mountains up with this crap. And one of these batteries that's going to be in the storage facility can set that chain reaction off. And there's going to be thousands of batteries in these facilities. There's one, they put them in giant long tubes. There's one way in, one way out, which is completely unsafe for any building, for anyone working there, for any firefighter that might have to deal with anything, for any law officer that might have to be involved. That's a nightmare. You have to have, they don't even build them right. Then they corrupt the land that they're on. They are, let's see, their scandal list is incredibly long. They've been convicted 14 times of taking bribes from local residents with cash payments for project cooperation agreements. They have been ordered to pay 56 million in fines to avoid criminal charges for fraud schemes across several major construction products in New York City. The 700-acre solar field in Fairmount County, Ohio, has had severe soil erosion, runoff, and flooding as a result of the site that has destroyed all local drinking water, protruding 15 miles in any direction, and they're describing it as 700 acres of hell. This is what we're looking at. It's important. I know you guys voted against it, and I can't tell you how I appreciate you knowing enough about it to get in on that lawsuit. What is there? I think 70 different counties that are all going. And how do we get through to the state? That I understand everyone wants to lower taxes. Don't think I want to pay more. I mean, I don't. Nobody does. But if they make all of our homes worthless by contaminating our water, this particular one, according to the assessments I have been able to find just online, would destroy 19 acres, including wetlands, with county drains that run through that land. That is connected to all 17 lakes in southwestern Michigan. The underwater runs to all 17 of them that this is connected to. There's a good chance. Okay. I'm sorry, when I get excited, I broke the back.
Can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you just a second? You
Yes.
said it's your first time. So with public comment, we are not allowed to answer any questions.
Oh,
You have 3 minutes to say what you want to say.
okay.
And then we'll have some at the end also,
Okay.
but we are gonna have that open house tomorrow too.
I just want everyone to really feel how important this is, because this has the potential to make all of our homes worthless, which makes property taxes pretty much irrelevant.
If you wanna talk to someone after the meeting, come talk to me and I can sit
I
down and
would love to. Thank you so
Do that.
much for that offer, and I appreciate
do
it.
that.
Yay, thank you.
Any other public comment?
Totally different than everything we talked about, but I have some cemetery, just maintenance updates that I wanna let you guys know about. The Templeman situation, that's done. So we can finally move past that. The plots have been seeded with grass, the headstones are on new foundations, and I think personally that the site looks pretty good.
Thank you.
That massive tree that was in Breezeville that fell was taken care of last weekend. I've talked personally to the neighbor, I think he was emailing Ken too. There's a neighbor that's gonna come, get a bunch of that wood that's sitting in the tree line. Eventually, it'll look a lot nicer, but he's gonna come do that. That's gonna save the township money from having that tree removed and taken out of there. I know on the agenda, there's the Thompson Cemetery work. Just kind of know that you guys know what's going on there, where to vote on. Don't know, but the driveway is severely overgrown. Vehicles are getting scratched, entering the cemetery, including mine. Pine tree, there's 3 pine trees in there that need trimmed, 2 of them, at the top of my trailer every time I'm coming in and out. The edges would be, I think, the east, west, and south side are pretty overgrown, and there are definitely a couple sections where it's overtaking the headstones. So that trimming those back would reclaim those headstones. And future planning, I don't see personally right now. I think I'm on board with Ken that that whole field in the past has been maintained. I don't think that right now is a priority. I think maybe in the next couple of years, if you guys thought that was a priority to knock that back down again, maybe we could add that to a budget, but right now, I don't see that personally as a priority. And the last one is cemetery plot sales. My thought about this is we should probably not put a full hold on selling cemetery plots. My thought is when someone requests a plot, the township takes that request, will call me the next time I'm at the cemetery, I will go to that plot, probe it, and call Ruth back, and then she can approve that request. So we're not holding families up that are trying to buy plots out here next two relatives, because I know a couple people right back here who are trying to kind of plot next to relatives, and they were told that they cannot do that. So I think that would probably be a better alternative. Alternative for right now. Just having you go out there when I'm out there for what they should. Yep.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Just a note, Karen, that price changed due to the fact that you got a smaller building and it's costing less than what was proposed at the other meeting. That's why I reduced the cost of it.
Well, you can take that up with him, but the board approved 9,700.
Yes, they did. For a building lot bigger.
Any other public comment? Good.
Huh?
We're all done.
Any other public comment? Going once? Going twice? There's another public session shortly. Hopefully shortly. Comments done. Consent agenda, we have a special meeting of July 15th, 2025. Is everyone okay with that?
There needs to be a correction when I was looking through here. And that is the motion 08.
On the special meeting or,
Special meeting July 15th.
Oh, no, not the special, I'm sorry. I'm a little ahead of myself here.
No one on the special meeting? Public hearing meeting minutes for July 15th. Any comments by board members? Okay, we're gonna go down to the regular board meeting, July 15th.
That's where I saw a discrepancy that I think should be amended and changed. And that was
Motion number 8.
motion number 8. Where it says that motion was passed by all four, and that's not consistent with the notes and with the publication. You voted no on that, so that should be changed.
What was the motion?
wait, honey.
That was a motion
The building?
not to exceed $9,700 for that.
Yeah, I voted no.
So that correction would be good.
It passed, right?
Did.
Is that?
All that matters.
Hmm?
It was at the, yeah.
That, yes, yes, the rest looks fine.
I'll make a motion, or could we do the minutes?
We gotta do the expenditures,
Yeah.
see if there's any questions on the July 25 invoice register. Anyone got any comments on that?
My only comment is we have a lot in there for our attorney fees.
None? August payroll, 2025? Any comments, board members? No.
Nope.
Bank report, any comments?
It's cockeyed.
Anything for the calendar? Everyone, tomorrow night, we're having a meeting with Vesper. It's gonna start at 5:30. It'll start out with the township board members. If we have a quorum, we are gonna have a special meeting and get roll call and get into a special meeting so that we all can meet together at the same meeting. And then right after us, the planning commission they have a quorum. They're gonna have to call a meeting, special meeting to be all here. And then after that, we will go into a open house with Vesper. And he's gonna make a presentation at that point. We're gonna let him just do his presentation without interruptions. When he gets his presentation done, then there'd be questions and answers. Now, The township board and planning commission have already submitted, questions to them. Pre of the meeting tomorrow night, so we'll probably get some good answers to the questions that we turned in. In a meeting like that, what we like to do is let someone talk, not interrupt them. Everyone will have a chance to ask questions, and we just have to be nice to each other, so that's gonna happen tomorrow night, 5:30. Go ahead, Karen.
It was advertised to be 6.
6 to 8.
6, yeah,
I think it is 6. I had it on my phone for 5:30 because I wanna make sure I'm here.
Yeah. 6 to 8.
Yeah, it's 6 o'clock. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm done. We are into
Motion.
a motion. A motion to approve consent agenda with the correction of motion number 8 to indicate that the supervisor voted no. Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Mary made a motion, second.
Second.
Jason got the second. This has got expenditures in it, so we need a roll call vote. Mary,
Yes.
Gary,
yes.
Kara,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
and Ken, yes. Information reports, JC,
Sure. We had last month. 13 fire calls and 26 medical responses. Well, 39 reports. I sent you all of those things that I've been getting from the county. You get everything I get. Couple of notes from today's meeting from Van Buren Medical Control. It's called the CARES report, and it's how this county does with CPR. And we are at the top of the pile. Van Buren County, if you're gonna have a cardiac arrest, do it in Van Buren County. We have good responses, and it's a team effort. In fact, Decatur in the last 3 weeks has had 3 saves. Because the entirety of public safety working together, law enforcement goes on scene, lays the AED on. EMS, the EMRs get there, they're doing their job. Ambulance gets there, by the time the ambulance gets there, they got the heartbeat back. They stabilize and transport out. And so it's not the fire department, it's not the police department, it's not QR, it's all of us working together to make those things go on, and the doc that's in charge of the county was impressed with that today, and said as much as that. Without going into too much detail, a couple of Fridays ago, there was a horrible accident in Bloomingdale. I think most people know about it, and if not, well, all I have to do is Google it, it'll be there. But I can tell you, that, Bloomingdale needed us. And, county was there, did an absolutely smashing job. And I say that because it was a nightmare scene. And without every single person that responded, it wouldn't have happened to the best outcome that it possibly can do, so. Anyway, those are the reports that I have for you today. You have any questions?
I was impressed that we've had such an ambulance issue and that they were there in 6 and 8 minutes to that scene. That was
So it was the perfect setup, and not just 2 ambulances. 5. 5 ambulances on scene there. The 2 life ambulances, because of the quick response, they were just completing a call and switching back to their areas. And they converged in the same spot to go north. It just happened to be that. It was a perfect thing. And you had both of those crews were senior crews, and we're rookie crews. And the one girl was badly injured, let's leave it there. And without those 2 crews starting their work with fire from both sides, Chris called me, because he was handling the one side, I came up from the other way. Connie had the entire thing controlled, couple of state boys were there. 3 life units, VBIMS unit, South Haven unit, and it was all done within 40 minutes. And at least last call, everybody was still alive. So But it took everybody. Without that, you're decreasing the odds of survivability, so.
Thanks.
Jeremy?
Well, my apologies for getting you guys the report late today. But I did just come back from 12 days off, so, I was informed by our dispatch, I have a new way of pulling our information for the township monthly reports, so that it be more accurate, including particularly sheriff department calls as opposed to MSP and other responding units in the, that responded to the township. There's, overall calls in Columbia Township for the entirety of month of July was 90. That's across all police agencies. Bangor had a couple, MSP had a few, our animal control officers as well. Particularly just the sheriff's department responded to 82 calls for service. Majority of those being alarms and or assault complaints. But, when looking at the report, all those reports are closed minus one from MSP that was an accident scene, so. Any questions regarding the sheriff's report?
Did you have a good vacation?
We were down in South Carolina, other than the fact that we had rain at some point every day we were there. It was very enjoyable. Got a lot of good time with family, so.
County Commissioner Kurt?
Just to expand on those, if I remember right, Van Buren County, we were the best in the state, chance of surviving witness heart attack. And our average for even the nation was a lot higher than past average, so yeah, kudos to everybody that's involved in it. Just a couple of things, hopefully you received the activity report that was sent out. We had our Palisades drill. I'm involved in that. We had two drills, and the third drill was we were rated by the state, and myself and the deputy from Van Buren reported to Benton Harbor. And we're in the, they call it the Joint Information Center for correspondence with Allegan, Berrien County, and of course, Van Buren County. And kind of different because the only old dogs there were myself and the undersheriff from Allegan. Everybody else was new since then, you know, 5 years since we had to do that, but we passed, so thank goodness for that. I'm sure everybody's heard by now, Sheriff Abbott Award, and he was proclaimed the Sheriff of the Year in 2025 in the Michigan Sheriff's Association. And at our last meeting, he was there and handed out commendations to the SWAT team for the role that they play in the pipe bomb incident in Logandale. 7 people that got commendations for that. And these things were, how much you heard about it, but we had like 3 or 4 pipe bombs thrown at them that actually exploded. So it was well done, and congratulations to those guys for good enough. Well, I have questions. Thank you.
Jerry, you want to talk about your report? You put in a written report. Any additional comments to it?
No, I thought we're gonna have the assessor's report and stuff first.
The assessor didn't,
She's not here.
She's got a report in there, but
she's got a written report, she's
yeah.
not here.
She's not here, but it's in the packet.
You want to talk about her report?
my report?
Her
No,
report,
no.
she's not
no,
here.
No, I just say she was pretty busy. That's all.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Doing a good job.
Jason, you have anything?
Right now.
Mary,
Nope, just collecting taxes and pass the audit, so.
Kara? I just wrote mine down, it's right there in the notes. Kate? you got a report to us, and you got us the finding of facts. They're written there. Any questions for Kate? Nope. Blight report? That's there to read?
I do have one question on Kate's report. On the consultant. I was just curious where those budget dollars came from.
Williamson Wood.
Yes,
We have them in the planning commission. We're gonna get a purchase order together. We gotta get an invoice and we'll get a purchase order together to bring to the board.
okay, does that fall under the planning commission budget?
Yes, we have $8,000 in that budget.
Professional service.
Okay,
And that was something I thought you started with Tasha. When you was on the planning commission.
new,
That's attorney fees also, because
Can I answer your question?
yes,
Under 401, 801-13, professional services. We have $8,000, $77 have been spent. We probably have some attorney fees for the planning commission that will come out of there. Also. Emergency services, H1, consideration of BFIC insurance proposal for the fire department.
BFIS. So, he came down, and got some additional information. BFIS is one of the biggest, emergency services, insurance agencies. He was going to get with, I gave him the contact numbers of all you guys. I don't know if BFIS, you got a hold of it. And so I wasn't gonna speak for you guys at all, and I just was looking for some numbers for us to compare. I do know that Bangor and South Haven, our surrounding agencies use VFIS, because MML has typically stonewalled them when they came to payment of whatever, so, I was not changing any in the first year I was in, just simply because I want to see how it work. And so I was requesting quotes. He didn't give me one, otherwise he'd have it in front of you, so that's kind of on a standby notion. So anyway, there's that. H2 is the quotes for the furnaces. I gave you two of them. I finally got, so the one estimate was $7,995 from Fleetwood's. 8,363 from Field, and then Mead came in at 12,000 or 11,692. So this is the one for Station 1, and before it gets cold, I figured we'd get it fixed and get it off of our to-do list before it gets cold. So,
the station over here.
yeah, one here. Did you want did you want me to send you the one from me? At some point,
If we have 3 for our records, that's the best
three
one.
for your records. Now, as I understand it, there's a different way of, a different / old way / the way we have been using, but now we're doing it again, and it's fine. I just need to make sure that I've got all my i's dotted and t's crossed, so at this point now, what you need from me, correct me if I'm wrong, is the PO form. With the quote that I'm gonna go with. Because now that I've had 3, and you need to have all 3 of them,
Yes,
Yes,
so that you can put it in your files that there was 3, okay.
yeah.
Alright, so. Move it, because I got that email a couple days ago, so I didn't have time to do anything with it. But, so for next meeting, then I'll have that and. Because it's. Over $500, but it's a critical, this is where I'm confused. It's a critical failure. If this happened in the wintertime, I've got to wait 2 months. This is what I don't understand. There's money in the budget to fix things. But you don't want me to fix them until you get to look at, help me out, help me understand the procedure.
it doesn't have to be approved by.
If it's emergency situation and it's gonna cause some other problems with,
We have a purchase order process. He has a pretty high limit.
If we said
If you get into an emergency situation, and if you were in the winter, you would come see me and I have the right to authorize a higher value
Yeah, so like,
under emergency situation.
correct,
I would say freezing pipes down there would be considered emergency. Your truck breaks down and we gotta get it in and fixed. We need to get it fixed.
they don't,
Can't wait.
like, at the document I sent, it shows like a certain like monetary, like between 500 and 1,500 authorization required by a department head, like it's not by the board unless it's between 5,000 and over 25,000.
So the furnace would fall into that.
Right, so the
Yeah.
bonus would be, yeah, so the board would have to approve that one, but other,
But not the moment where we had a problem with, that's $400.
right.
I can just do whatever, I can just do it because it needs to get done.
Yeah, so there's that table in that document I sent that shows that.
Okay. Ed? So. Then. Just email that to you so that it's in the next budget or the next packet?
You still need a purchase order.
Yeah, that's
You
included.
you still need a purchase order. And then you would indicate what account it's coming out of. You verify that you got funds in it.
Yep.
And then it would, she'll verify the count. Okay, it's on, she verifies the count, then it comes to me and I will, initiate it. If it's got time to go to the board, we prefer it to go to the board. But if you have something immediately, it's
Okay,
that way.
well, right now it's not an emergency because, you know, it's been so sticking hot, I don't worry about it right now. But it's coming up on those.
It's coming up, we need to do it timely and we got time for that. Already got the 3 bids, right?
Yeah.
So that's the hard part.
Put the paperwork in now.
You need help with the paperwork, come see me.
Got it. Done.
Did you replace both of those last year at two?
No,
they were just
replaced
fixed,
one.
yeah.
I replaced one and the other one.
So Jeremy.
Well,
I didn't like
that
that.
half of the building, but yeah, Jeremy was the most affected. You know, when he come out, his fingers were blue and he couldn't type, that was a problem, so. It was fun to watch, but, you know,
The magic number here, JC, is anything up to from 3,000, the ceiling or above, you need a purchase order. Excuse me, I'm wrong. Up to 1,500 or more, you're gonna need a purchase order and your 3 estimates. So from $1,500 above, you do need a purchase order and the supervisor's signature along with 3 quotes. 1,500 or less, the department head can have the purchase order done without the supervisor's signature.
and I'm the
Yeah.
department head. So,
Department head.
That table's in that,
in
that
that.
document I sent in that email, so just look at that table.
well, I did, and that,
Yeah.
I'm just clarifying, because I don't wanna
No, yeah,
do what I'm thinking,
Right.
and then it's just not right.
We can get you a copy.
No,
He's got it.
yeah, I got.
Oh,
she said it. I
Okay.
was just clarifying, I wanna make sure I had it right. Cool beans. Going along with, you know, listening over the last year or so about light and whatever else. Our shed at Station One, I would consider light. Just putting it out there, it's horrible. And so going along with the same thing we just said, so next time if I have 3 quotes. Cause it's gonna be about $8,000, between $5,000 and $8,000. To put a new shed, and we're just gonna put it in Station 2, cause that makes more sense, cause blah, blah, blah. But that needs to go away, it's a safety issue as well, it just doesn't make. So now I just wanted to. That helped, H3 helped me get through H4, that's super. Or H2 helped me get through H3. H4 is departmental policies. Just a point of clarification for everybody, it worked, I want you to know everything, it did work correct. So, Ruth contacted Joe, asked for resources from there, Joe didn't know what to do. He asked me, I reminded him of the policy that we put into place years ago, and he returned it to Ruth. Now, it wasn't a satisfactory response, and there was some discussion that happened afterward, but the procedure worked properly. It was exactly the way it should go. It goes from wherever it is to Joe. Joe's my point man. Joe asks me if he doesn't know the answer. I respond to Joe and Joe takes care of it. Otherwise, why do I need Joe? I'll just do it myself. So, I just wanted to put that out there that everything there worked well. With that, there is, some station supply budget that the old tables and chairs. We're gonna downgrade those and we're gonna get stuff like what we got here. And, then maybe we can combine all of our old stuff together and that could be something we can let out to people. And you get one communal place for all that and do that, but that's on that, so. Anyway. Questions on any of that stuff? For me?
Did you answer about the shed replacement project?
Well, now that I know what the policy is for POs, his name is,
You got what you need.
I got what I need to get it on, so next time I'll be able to have more for it, yes.
So like tables and chairs, if you guys have them, why are we buying new ones? Just to upgrade?
Well, the ones that we have are literally falling apart. I mean, there's holes in the tables, they're chipped, and we got them as a hand-me-down. So, I mean, we got hand-me-down stuff. I mean, could we hold on that? Sure, we can.
We're trying to buy a new fire truck, I don't know.
It is, and every dime does count, but I think that even if we were to use the entire budget, we're gonna take 280. My budget is $242,802. Even if we took that for 2 solid years and did nothing else, it's still not a truck. So. When we're tripping over dollars and $10 bills to pick up 10 cents. 10 cents used to be a little bit more worth something. You know, I don't pick up cans anymore, I used to. So. But there's that. Speaking of that, I think you guys asked about it a little while ago, we're adding 2 more people, or someone said something about it. 2 more EMTs into the mix. They're both emergency medical technicians, so a level above where we operate EMR wise. The one is almost 18 when she turns, then she will be automatically EMT. The other does live here and is 18, so. There you go. So Samara is the one. I dare you to pronounce her last name, Ken, I dare you. No, I'm just teasing. Wabinimpi Cluck, there's a name for you. But she's an awesome kid, knows her stuff. Both of them were last year students. of
Do you
mine.
have to get a hiring paperwork to
He already got it.
them?
That's why I added it, yeah.
It's been turned in for almost 2 months now.
Okay,
So I would just ask that you guys put H5 and H6 as the done column, and that gives our roster, I believe we're at 18. Look for 2 more. If I can top it 20, I'll be happy.
18 EMTs.
18 bodies that have a license of some sort.
Okay.
Medical or fire weapon.
we need a motion to approve hiring Samantha
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss River, let me put my glasses on. Yeah, that helps.
Just as a note, she's not making money right now until she turns 18.
She's an emergency
Private
services.
cadet until she turns 18, which is
You have a start date of what?
her start date be when her birthday is, and I don't know what that is off. It'll be that day. She's right now a cadet.
Okay. As cadet.
And do you have the rate per hour that she's gonna get?
Nah.
They both will start at 15, they'll both start at the lowest rate.
Can I get a motion to that effect?
I'll move that we recommend to the board that we approve hiring Samara Webeninky Gluck as stated by the fire chief.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Jason seconded. Roll call, Gary,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Cara,
Yes.
Ken, yes, Mary.
Yep.
Can I get a motion for Janie Salzar?
Janelle,
Janelle.
Boy,
I know, and take
and
practice.
that's gonna be, she starts on her birthday too?
No, she's already active, she's already, so
She's starting right away then,
it'll be effective.
effective,
Well,
Day.
effective as soon as possible, you know.
as soon as you say yes.
And what's her level of training?
She's an EMT as well. They're both EMTs.
And if $15 per hour. Can I get a motion for Janie?
On this, it says upon completion of all pre-employment requirements.
I
She
just
filled
put
out the
that,
paperwork.
yeah, she already
Oh,
filled it
oh.
out, so it's.
I'll make a motion to hire Janelle.
Mary made a
Salzar.
motion. Can I get a second?
So moved.
By Gary. Roll call, Mary.
Yes.
Gary,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Cara, and yes.
There is one more thing that I just came across my radar. In some of the last windstorms, we've been blowing shingles off of Station 2. I've been putting together numbers,
Need a tar bucket?
and then, well, that's not. The answer is yes. I'll do my best to patch it, but, the building is 20 years old, so I'm start thinking about those.
How many shingles?
There's 2 that are missing right now.
2?
But just, I think I can take care of it, but I'm warning you of future whoozy whatsits. In the parking lot out there is starting to look.
Is that the original, shingle roof on that? Okay.
Yes, sir. And I've got calls into the, sheriff department for getting the worker out there to do some painting, so. Okay, I'm done.
Thank
Really?
you.
Okay, unfinished business. Jason, you want to give a little update on, any discussions you had with Russell?
Sure. You guys hear me through the mic? Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I have a decent amount of info to lay out, and if you'll indulge me maybe for about 10 minutes, I think this is all particularly relevant going into tomorrow's open house, of course. So I'd like to kind of try to frame up the status of where I think we are on this process with Vesper. So that the board in particular can go into that open house with like full perspective. But also everybody here and anybody who comes to the open house has full perspective as well. Some of this is gonna be based on, well, frankly, my opinion, but also based on work that I've done on this project over about the last year and a half. Some of it will be based on conversations that I've had with Rich Russell, who's the project manager for Vesper. So that's kind of disclosure that those conversations happened recently. And I'm glad people like, was it Marcia?
Yes.
That you're engaged in this. We've had obviously a lot of people engage in this, but the township's been dealing with this for about 2 years now. I think it was about 2 years ago that Vesper had first conversation with our supervisor, informing them of the project intentions. And our planning commission's done a lot of work on it. And last year we had a pathway that we were pursuing based on our understanding of the nature of these types of projects and how it relates to the legislation that the state of Michigan passed. And our pathway was really to pursue a workable ordinance because we felt at the time that was the best option of the options that we had. over those 2 years, I think it's fair to say that there's been a lot of information passed around. There's been a lot of meetings. There's been a lot of distractions. There's been legal lawsuits by the state, there's just been a lot. And I think, I believe we're at a point where, the process has become pretty simple and the choice is pretty simple for the township. I did want to just say, Marcia, to a point you said, just to clarify, the board never voted on this project. The only thing that the board voted on was to join the other townships in the lawsuit. So, okay. Yeah, so
Excited about it.
that's okay. That's okay. I just want to make sure that nobody thought that the board took this issue up and had any sort of formal vote on it yet, because we did not. I do think we are at the moment where we need to vote on this. Because it's kind of over time has boiled down to basically we have two choices. And the choice is to do something or to do nothing. And that's a very simplification of the choices, but the do nothing route is that we do not take up our own efforts to write a workable ordinance for these types of projects, and we just let it go through the state. It is, I think it's fair to say, and anybody correct me if you have a different opinion, but I think it's fair to say that this project will happen in our township. There's nothing we can do at this point. If we choose the do nothing route, it will be permitted through the state of Michigan. It could have been permitted through the state of Michigan last November when PA 233 went into effect. Vesper has been preferring to work with us. In my opinion, I think they have been pretty patient as we've tried to figure out a lot of things. Because they could have gone that route a long time ago. But I think the other route, if we choose, instead of not doing anything, we can choose to do something, which would be adopt our own workable ordinance. That would at least give us some control and some say in what this project looks like. And that's just, I think it's fair to say that's a statement of fact. That doesn't have any opinion about the project itself embedded in it. It's just the reality of where we're at. And I can confirm that we are at kind of I don't know if tipping point's the right word, but Rich Russell, who's the project manager, recently communicated to me that on October 15th, Vesper is prepared to divert their efforts from working with us to pursuing a state application. So that's kind of our ticking clock at this point for us to decide, are we going to do nothing or do something? So I believe, just to kind of throw this out to the board, we should have this on our agenda for our September meeting and have whatever vigorous discussion we need to have about this issue. And decide what we're gonna do. And it's either gonna be, at that point, we'll have 1 month till the October 15th deadline, so we'll either adopt the workable or we won't. I think that a couple of the things I want to throw out there, just from the perspective standpoint, I guess for the board, as we go to the open house and we start to think about what our position is on this officially, in advance of a vote, we have the workable ordinance draft that the planning commission wrote up with our PC attorney last year that kind of got stalled out for a number of reasons, as we were trying to consider overlay districts and things like that didn't end up working out. But that draft has sat there for almost a year. I did confirm with Foster Swift that, sorry, let me back up just a minute. We submitted that draft ordinance to Vesper, and they went back to us with a couple red line corrections and things like that to make this a workable ordinance. So a workable ordinance is we write an ordinance that we think we want, and they say we can work with that, but maybe here's some other things we want to compromise on, and we work together to come, to an ordinance. So they gave us back a red line draft. And I confirmed with our attorney that the recommended changes that they want to negotiate are not substantial enough that we are required to go back and start over with the process. The spirit of the ordinance is still there. There really is, I guess in our attorney's words, there are minor changes to the ordinance. So we do have an ordinance that the board could take up in September and vote on. If we're comfortable with the red line suggestions, we just have never brought that back to the table to look through. But it's ready to go. I want to clarify maybe one thing that on the workable, I know in some meetings, there was some concerns about our workable ordinance maybe not being as stringent as the state's requirements. And I can tell you that Vesper has even stated that the attorney at the time that helped us with that, Catherine Kaufman, did a very, very nice job for our township drafting that ordinance and made it very, very favorable for us. And I think it might have been Dixie, you raised the question of, well, our workable says 65 decibels and the state only requires 55 decibels. There's a number of things in the ordinance that we can go through, but we as a planning commission, with the help of our attorney, wrote that ordinance to be as favorable as possible to the township and also workable from Vesper. And I will say that in that particular instance, 65 decibels in our ordinance is to be measured at the roadside or 100 feet, whereas the state's 55 decibel is measured at 300 feet. So you have to be careful when you just look at numbers, because if you measured 65 decibels at 300 feet, it'd be more like 35 decibels. So the state's, just because it says 55 doesn't mean it's better than our ordinance. And I think there's a number of things like that we tried to write into the ordinance to make it favorable for us, like road assessment and road reconstruction after the construction process is done, that we would not get through the state. So again, without making a statement of opinion on the favorability of the project or not, I think it's safe to say that our workable ordinance that we drafted as a township is definitely favorable to the requirements or regulations that we would get if it's permitted through the state. I think that's objectively true. And if anybody has any questions about that, Vesper will be happy to answer that tomorrow. They're bringing a number of subject matter experts, including I think a fire chief from the east side of the state that is very, very familiar with battery storage systems and fires and how to control them and things like that. I believe they're bringing an environmental person to answer any questions about environmental issues we have. I think they might be bringing someone about tax valuation. I don't know what the roster is, but they were trying to bring as many people to answer as many questions about specific issues that we had as possible to tomorrow's meeting. So if you have any concerns on any of that stuff, obviously please come to the meeting tomorrow. But the last thing I want to say, just because I think this is another area where we've had conversation and there's been a little bit of back and forth, and I'll say maybe a little bit of lack of clarity, is there is, in addition to, again, my opinion, in addition to being able to write our own ordinance and have some control over how this project comes into our township, there is additional financial benefit to our township to have a workable ordinance. And I can lay that out real quickly, and if you have additional questions, you can talk to me afterwards, but I'll kind of compare the two. Whether or not we go through the state or through a workable ordinance, Vesper has offered our township a $100,000 a year community benefit agreement, just to try to be a good partner with our township. They are not required to do that by the state. But I was informed by Rich that at the very outset of this project, and I think even before, when they decided to do any projects like this, Vesper decided that they would not make a distinction between offering that $100,000 a year community benefit between whether or not a community adopted a workable ordinance or not. They didn't want it to be a cudgel to sort of force or entice townships to have a workable. So they said that they will give us the $100,000 a year, whether or not it's permitted through the state or it's a workable. So that one's kind of a wash. There is another community benefit. It's kind of confusing because they're both called community benefit agreements, but there's a secondary community benefit agreement that is attached to the permitting process. And if they go through the state of Michigan, our township will be awarded through the permitting, once the permitting process is completed, or I should say it may be more like this. Part of the permitting process is that they execute a community benefit agreement in the amount of $2,000 a megawatt. So this is a 200 megawatt project. So if it gets permitted through the state, our township would get $400,000 for that piece of the project, just the permitting of it. And these numbers that I'm talking about are all in addition to tax stuff. So I know there's questions about taxing, but let's just put that aside. This is just separate financial, potential ramifications for our township. So that's a state requirement. So if it goes through the state, we still get $400,000.
If we do a workable, do we still get that or no?
Yes, so we wrote into our ordinance, here's another issue, here's another example of how our ordinance benefits our township. We wrote into our ordinance a higher amount than that, and Vesper has agreed in the red line edition that they will make that $3,000 a megawatt. So that would be, if we permit through our own workable ordinance, our township would get $600,000 instead of $400,000. So that's a $200,000 difference between state permitting and workable. Again, just stating facts there. And then the last piece of the puzzle is, some of you probably heard about the potential grants that are available to townships that write their own ordinance through Eagle. If we would have had all this done last year, by, I think it was October 31st, we would have definitely had applications in and most likely have been awarded these grants. Since that timeline has extended into this year, the grant money is running out. But Karen has done some research with the representative from Eagle, and kind of where we sit, correct me if I'm wrong, is that while they cannot guarantee that the funds will be replenished, there's been a lot of talk about funds being replenished. And I believe his stance is it is still likely to happen, but it's not maybe as guaranteed as it was a year ago. So let's just put that in the checkmark column of maybe. But if we have our own workable ordinance, we can at least apply for that grant. There's potentially $5,000 a megawatt available to us in grant money. So that times 200 is $1 million. So objectively speaking, not that this is simply about money, but we've talked a lot about financial needs our township has, tax increases, blight enforcement. There's probably lots of other things we could use money on. Objectively speaking, if we pass a workable ordinance and work with Vesper in that route, we have a potential to have $1.2 million more than if we get permitted through the state. So I just wanted to clear the air on that because that was something that's been discussed a number of different ways. And I verified that with the legal documents and with Vesper to make sure all my numbers are buttoned up tight, and that is true. So I think that's all I want to say on that. I just wanted to let you guys know about those conversations that I had with Vesper. Most importantly, that we do have kind of a time window now. We know what that is. I think we didn't know what it was for a long time. We assumed that there would come a time where if we decided to drag our feet long enough, that was always the possibility that it could just be permitted through the state. And the way Rich explained it to me is, there was a period of time where it was preferable to work with us. And we've kind of got to the point where that pendulum has swung a little bit, and Vesper now thinks that we are at a tipping point where it's just as preferable to work through the state. So that's why I think we are sort of at an inflection point where we need to make a decision. So that's my update, and if anybody has any questions on what I said, I can try to answer it, but I'm definitely not an expert. There will be experts here tomorrow. Please come to the meeting and ask as many questions as you can. So,
Just one other question.
Yes.
Community benefit, is that a one-off or is that an annual fund, $100,000?
so the permitting community benefit of $3,000 a megawatt is a one-off. The $100,000 a year community benefit is annually over the life of the project.
But that's split, isn't it? The $100,000 is split, like a certain amount goes to the school district, a certain amount, do you recall?
No, I think they originally proposed that just as a for instance, like, oh, if you wanted some money to go to the school or some money to go to here. I do believe that it is at our discretion on how we want to spend that community benefit amount. But we can verify that tomorrow when Vesper's here.
That's a lot of work, thanks.
Yes.
My understanding also from Eagle was that going through the state would probably take a full year. But their expectation was that before any lawsuit would ever be settled, these guys would be permitted. So I know people were holding out hope for that. And Eagle representative that I spoke with, he's not an attorney, but he's in on meetings. That was his expectation, is that in all likelihood, this is, I mean, he used the word inevitable, that this project is coming. So that's from Eagle.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that's true, and I know a lot of people feel differently about this project, and it's a highly emotional issue, and I think what we have the difficult task in is trying to cut through all that fog and go, what is the best decision we can make for our township? And if you haven't expressed your opinion on that, please do let us know. But I think we as a board are to that point where we need to make that decision. So I don't think I'm gonna make a formal motion, but I think that we should definitely have this on the agenda at the September meeting so that we can take a stand one way or another and know what's gonna happen on October 15th. So, do you guys have any questions? Oh,
The only comment I wanna make, I follow you 100%, but I've also been following the grant situation, and I just think it's not helpful to hold out that 1.2 million. I mean, maybe we'll get it and we'll see what Vesper says tomorrow, but the fact is that the grant program is at risk because of the administration that has said these best projects, unless they're 100% American made, don't qualify for grant funding. And I am not aware of a best system that can be made without rare earth materials, which come from China. So that question, so the grant, that's not me saying that, that's a White House executive order. So that's all tied to the grant money, and no one has a clear answer on that, including Eagle. So I think you're clear on the community benefit number, and I think you're clear on the permit numbers, but the grant money, I think the board's gonna have to make a decision regardless of the grant money.
well, and I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think that's a good point. But, you know, I try to always boil it down into the simplest thing, and I go, that might not be sorted out for 6 months. And we don't have the luxury of waiting 6 months to see how that gets sorted out, to factor that into our decision. So I go, if it goes through the state, there will absolutely not be any grant money. That's not even on the table. If we go through workable, at least we have a chance of it. Like, who knows what the percentage is? It is very unclear, but I'm just saying that should at least factor in a little bit. But you're right, we should probably take
Yeah.
worst case scenario and say,
This is a conversation for tomorrow.
Yeah.
okay,
We got the logist here.
okay.
I2 down, so.
I already got it crossed off here, I2. I2's been moved down. So we're gonna go to J1 on new business. Tara?
What you skipped,
What I miss?
the,
Did I miss something?
the.
That's buried there. Rules for, use of social media. Kate?
Oh, I wanna say we do have a social media guideline in our employee handbook already, so it's kind of a repeat thing,
Voila.
but we can still talk about it. I just wanted to point that out.
Well, maybe we ought to look at that before we go on to that. We'll move this out to next month if we need to. We'll take a look at that and see if that meets our needs.
I think that's a good choice, because I think we need to talk about, newspapers and that sort of thing as
Yeah.
well, so.
Yep.
I agree with Ken.
Let's move that to next month also, and you did write down that we're gonna put, Jason's things on next month also. Okay, we'll revisit that next month. We're now into new business. Now, Kara, you're.
You missed the 1.2,
We moved that down to J5, I think.
I think.
They moved it to 5.
Okay, so I've been thinking about, how to make the township more efficient and how the departments can work better together. And I think outsourcing payroll is gonna be really beneficial. Just with the new ESTA and all the payroll taxes and everything, it's really hard to just keep that all on track. I contacted 3, companies. The only one that was reliable enough and communicated back and forth with me was Paychex. And they're a local company with local resources and people. We had a meeting today, Mary and I, and he gave us an overview, and I attached the quote, but he did update it, so it's a little different, but not like that.
What was also interesting is there's a certain amount of HR that we can buy. You can do it monthly with a minimum of 3 months, but it'll take care of making sure that ESTA's in our handbook, making sure everybody signed for it.
All the paperwork's
All
filled out,
paperwork's
right?
filled out. It'll check the I-9s, everything to keep us out of the hot water.
How does this interface with BSNA?
We'll have to do a download. He's got other townships that use it, so we'll work out all the,
Download works fine.
we'll do all the weed stuff later, yep.
Good.
But he works with other bigger townships with it. It actually I was quite impressed, and it takes a lot of
It's
time.
really cool. There's an app, so any employee can get on, see all their pay stubs, update any information without having to go through JC, then through me, then through that. Like, so I think it's just gonna be, especially since the clerk position changes every election cycle.
Or less.
Yeah, it's important to remain the same. And like, to
Really
pay me like
consistent.
the federal taxes and state taxes, I mean, you need an accounting degree to know all that,
Yeah,
so it's important to stay on top.
So
of
these are,
stuff.
we would have different fees because we have different pay periods.
Then he explained, like, we can lump like the monthly and the semi-monthly together, so the cost would go down on that. That's just if they're all separate. But if we lumped them together, like at the end of the month, that fee would go down. I think he said by like $100, so.
So just an overview, like, I'm just gonna use JC for example. So his people put all their stuff in, right? They're.
I typically do that, but yeah.
Or you could, right? So it has the days and everything. They would be able to do that, and then you would approve it. It would come to us, and then we would go through it before it ever goes to, so it's not like it just goes from the employee to Paychex. And then we would do it that way. So it was actually, and he was solid. It was a nice, solid company.
Yeah.
The fees and things that happen when things don't happen right with the IRS and stuff are far greater than the cost of this. And with to have some consistency in that, and I know for you, and for other people, it would be nice to have that. To go on.
Do you have an annual cost?
I was gonna say with the, to have the HR at first, at least for 3 months to get us all up to par. I think it was what, 12,000,
12,000.
not to exceed 12,000
12,000 a month?
a year. And it would
Is
be,
that for also next year? I'm doing the budget, that's why I'm asking.
well, it'll be a little bit less, but,
Yeah, that was
and it's
kind
per
of,
employee. It depends on how many.
and that was on top, like our top line.
And we're gonna have a new line item in the budget for this?
Well, there's a payroll clerk for the fire department, there's a line item, but I don't think there's a line item in the general, like, so I'm not sure.
Sure there was. I think there was in each.
Okay,
Well, if we don't have one, we're gonna make one, right? But
Yeah.
right now, we're thinking of clerk payroll,
yeah,
but isn't that in the fire department, not in general?
I don't know, that's your guys' preference.
Is this
We'll
being
talk about
proposed
that
to
later.
switch over now
I
or to
just
switch
need to
over
know.
for our next
Switch over now,
calendar budget?
switch over.
Yeah, now.
It's gonna take a few months, Jason, to switch everybody over and they do the 1099s or in the W, or not the 1099s, I'm sorry, but the W2, so we don't have to pay for that.
I know this has been dealt with or talked about for at least a couple of years. To simplify things and make it so we don't have to pay these fines to IRS in the tune of $5,000 and $6,000 because somebody dropped the ball.
Previous.
Yeah,
Well, I think it's like lack of just not knowing too, I mean, I'm
The other thing
learning as I go.
And I'm gonna say this, my daughter's an accountant. She could figure this out. For those people that have used to work in the township and say, oh, you know,
You got that document?
it's, you can do it with a paper and a pen, it's
You doing
different.
the purchase for it?
ESNA is very hard.
Yeah.
Probably oughta, and then we'll attach the two
Like I said,
people
she's the
contacted
accountant
and
and she's the one that did most of it, but you're not always gonna have an accountant taking these positions.
You know how much
You have to be able to breathe and
for
get
the rest of this year?
really. So then it gets all screwed up
You
again,
get
it costs our
budget amendment
taxpayers
already?
all that much more.
That's what I printed.
Payroll is not clearly statutory duties.
Mm-mm. Oh, thank you, Karen. Yeah, it's all over. This payroll.
Yeah.
Hey, Mary, just out of curiosity.
You didn't put any money in?
Speaking of, I'm an accountant slash controller, and I would always recommend a company hire and outsource just because there's so much
Well,
compliance.
if you're thinking annually 12,000, then you
But
probably
just-
need 6,000, 7,000.
Companies that you can-
What are we,
So,
Kara did. Who was the three companies? It was
out of South Haven and
AD,
ADP.
and then this
And
Paychex.
Paychex.
And literally Paychex was the only one that would
Paychecks,
respond.
ADP and Paychecks are the two biggest ones, they're a thousand.
It's a little private accounting thing that some people use.
And I had a few referrals from Paychex of local companies that use them and they,
I've dealt with them a lot. Every paycheck company has its issues.
Yeah,
Tell you,
yeah.
It depends on your rep. I've
Right.
dealt with lots of issues, but
And we
Well,
did talk to him about that and you keep the same rep.
yeah.
So, and it's not sourced out of the country.
or hands.
So we get, local service. Yes.
But as a follow-up to your point, so if they screw up, everybody screws up, do they offer you any defense?
They handle the liability. They handle liability. If it is their problem, if it's
They
not
handle.
here on our side, that their policy is.
Is that what you're carrying?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I think by having the HR, at least for the first 3 months, we can get everybody compliant and then we can go from there. I don't think we're gonna need HR forever.
Yeah.
But at least get us all in the handbook,
Make sure everything's correct in the,
get on.
and they've changed forms, just the Michigan
yeah,
changed, like in the
Yeah.
last year.
yeah.
All the I-9s changed,
All kinds of things changed.
so. And even if we don't pay for the HR, but we've already had them, they will send us a legal notice and just say, you need to look at this. They won't write it for us and all that, but they'll at least let us know what we need to look into. And we paid an attorney to do the handbook
Yeah.
years ago, so hopefully we're pretty good, but things change so often,
Payroll.
Payroll, okay.
so.
Here.
Will it
There's
all
no
be
more-
direct
okay.
deposit or is there still an
Thinking
option?
you're-
No, we can still do paychecks, we prefer direct deposit, but we will still do paychecks and they will be
To pay.
sealed in an envelope and mailed here. So they're not gonna go to people's houses and then people can pick them up.
Or
from
spend
there.
all that.
But it puts a little more
What are we doing,
responsibility with all the back and forth and papers getting lost and,
That's like
So-
your BSNA maintenance. fee.
I think that, as many things that we can outsource that'll stay consistent with the township,
That we
we
do.
should probably consider, because it's such a revolving door.
So do you need is there any more discussion on the board that you can think of?
Well, Kara, we're gonna need, to put it in the budget.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We're gonna need a resolution.
right.
we got the resolution I gave to you guys. So the account we're looking at would be, professional services payroll, 101, 803.001. There's no money allocated to that right now, so we have to find where we can take that from.
We can actually take it from the fund balance if we want it.
And we said 7,000 for the remaining of the year. What do you think about that?
Yeah, if it's 12,000 for the rest of the year, we'll have 6 months left. I figured 7,000 would cover it because you got additional expenses to start up. And you're probably not gonna be done by September, so 7,000 probably will be more than adequate.
And they're actually waiving over $2,000 for the startup phase for
Which
us.
we're gonna have to take it from the general
Yeah,
fund balance.
That's-
Okay?
That's nice.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take the federal fund balances.
Which one are you looking at, Ken?
The general.
Yeah, I need to put, oh, there's my glasses.
Ken.
Station.
There isn't an unused line item that we could pull this from rather than the general fund balance.
Well, it's just gonna fall out in the fund balance. It's just gonna be coming out of the 2025 fund balance, which would be part of the, it's just gonna show an expense higher here than what it is, so.
Okay.
Gonna come out of Fund 101, basically is what you wanna say, General Fund 101, fund balance.
See anything,
By seven.
but I did not like.
And that doesn't have an account number.
I think that's doable.
Here, it should look like this.
Okay.
Don't get this down. I don't think it's written, but it's gonna look like that. Decrease expenditures from the general fund balance 101 by $7,000. That balances out. Got it?
Okay,
Now all we need is have a board member make a motion. Call for the resolution.
do we need to make a motion for paychecks and then to the resolution, or just one for the resolution?
Wasn't it the total $7,000?
Well, I guess we need to make a motion to approve paychecks. And then do a motion to approve the budget amendment.
Yeah, you need to do the
Motion to approve.
motion to approve
Outsourcing our payroll.
outsourcing servicing to paycheck. Outsourcing to paycheck, diesel processing.
If we put the planning commission and the board review like a quarterly, they would get paid quarterly from them. Oh,
I would say not to exceed 7,000, otherwise you would have to pay them 7,000.
you've got the most employees, so it's gonna be the most work for us to.
You can read that off now, I guess, and then you can make the motion.
It's your baby.
Want to read it to us?
Motion to approve outsourcing the township payroll to paychecks payroll processing to not exceed $7,000.
For fiscal year 2025.
Carl made a motion, did I get a second? Did I already get a second, not know it?
I'll second.
Jason made a second. Carr,
Yeah.
Jason,
Yes.
Ken, Jess, Mary,
Yes.
Gary,
Yeah,
okay, we took care of that.
good work on that, Carl.
Now you can step into your resolution.
Okay. I make them, well, I guess we added, so increase expenditure payroll, what did I say it was?
Professional services,
Yeah, professional services, payroll,
accounting,
accounting.
special services accounting.
No, that's is payroll. We did the
Oh,
payroll.
no, payroll, yeah.
101-101-803.001 by $7,000. And we're going to decrease, or is it decrease?
Decrease the general
Decrease
fund balance by,
by 7,000.
Do we have a resolution number on that?
That would be 2025-009.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-009.
Jason made a motion. Do I get a second?
Second,
Gary made a second. Oh, the money again. Jason,
Yes,
Gary,
yes.
Cara,
Yes.
Ken, Jess, Mary.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
So we're increasing the expenditure by 7 and decreasing by 5.
That's 7.
7? And so it's a balance. I'm done.
7 and 7.
Got it.
Okay, we're at,
J2.
J2 is budget amendment for recycling and shed.
We want to replace that with J4 in front of that.
That's right, my bad.
We moved that, right?
Right,
Yeah, so now we're at J4.
we're at J4.
We're at J4. Consider setting the fee for recycling collection transfer. Again, I just put this in here so that we could look at the township fee schedule. If we didn't have time to look at that tonight, we can move this to next month when you have time to look at it. I think the cemetery,
I gave everybody a copy of this.
yes,
regarding that.
I got it right here, Gary.
Okay.
I gave our 2021-12 resolution to adopt fee schedule. I believe that it's outdated for the cemetery schedules and other things in there, and we probably ought to try to update that to what our current actual charges are. I'll have Ruth look at it to see what we're charging versus what's
Okay.
in that.
I'm not comfortable with kicking this can down the road all the time. We've been doing this since.
I don't know what the cemetery is. Mike, you know all the cemetery costs?
Yeah, yeah.
Are they on there correctly?
You just sent an update,
I put those things in, this should be updated. I put those two,
But did we update the resolution?
right?
The fee schedule.
Fee schedule is what you need.
Click on that right there. Yeah. Look at, okay, you're looking at it. Now, if you go there, there's a cemetery schedule. I think it was.
Yeah, right here.
Cremation, are those the same number or do we need to update those?
Do you see them, Mike? Can you see them?
I can look, hold on.
Isn't the only question for tonight if you're gonna add recycling tickets and what they would cost? Other than that, you guys probably can look at this some other time.
That's it. It's simple.
Yeah, if you just wanna look at the tickets.
Yep, yeah, but
So the we're not, can we discuss?
Pardon?
Do we have a motion where we can discuss, or can we discuss? I have a question.
well, I would move that we move forward with the purchase order for the transfer station sentence shed. Based on the information and the estimates that I received.
Well, what do you, let's do something with J4. What do you wanna do with J4, if anything?
J4 is, J4 would be, as it's on this sheet that I gave you, it would be the bottom half. You don't have to do anything with the top half.
Okay, well, we're not gonna look at the fee schedule then, at all. Right?
The question part, if I don't have a copy, yeah, I think I can find a copy, yeah, here. Isn't, on your budget amendment, you combined the recycle, transfer station tickets, and the expenses for recycle disposal, along with this whole transfer station building. So that's why they're kind of coming together at the same time.
Basically, I talked to Becca and she developed accounts on what belonged where. And she said that, that we need to have recycling disposal for half-year cost. And that becomes, half-year cost is gonna be about $1,750 if you fill up one container and you pay $125 a month for 12 months or 7 months. That's what that money would come up to. So that would be 1/2 year for the recycled disposal. We were gonna put a maintenance of $250 added to the existing fund called transfer station maintenance. And we knew that supplies and furniture would be needed probably for the shed, maybe not, but we probably should fund it, so we decided to put that into miscellaneous. Now, this is where Becca recommended that they go. And then the transfer station capital. I think I dropped it down to 7,000 because we went to smaller building, but if you want 9,700, I'm okay with that.
According to the quotes that I had here originally.
Originally you did, but are you getting another building or are you getting the same building?
I have the latest,
Gary,
some
he's
of,
okay with keeping the line.
yeah, I'm fine with keeping the line.
I mean, either you spend it or you don't. I mean, if you don't spend it, it ain't gonna matter.
That's right.
That's why I gave you 10,000. I figure you're probably not gonna spend it.
My only issue is that transportation capital should be 9,700 because that's what the board approved. You can leave the rest like it is, it's fine. Then the bottom line would be 12,200.
We're the board, we could change it to the 7,000, but it doesn't matter, Gary. You got your 12,200. I'm okay with that. Now, you had a question mark about the 500. If you're gonna charge for recycling, you probably ought to have a receiving money for recycling somewhere. And I'm guessing,
About if you're going to charge for recycling.
well, you're probably gonna charge $1 a bag at least, right? That'd be $443 if you have a 30-yard dumpster and you just empty it once.
Well, maybe not. Maybe it's providing the service for the community and see if have it as a pilot program and be free for the first pilot program.
That's fine. You're not gonna track how many tickets you got or how much went into the recycling list by dump. How many containers you dump. That's the only way you're gonna know how much you got. And is he gonna charge $1 per bag? All I'm trying to say is we should keep track of how much we're spending on recycling. And how much we receive when somebody throws something in there.
Isn't that a separate issue from what we approved as a board to put this building in? Why are these getting all attached together?
Because we have nothing in our budget to collect tickets for recycling. And tracking recycling different than normal garbage that's just going to the hill.
Right.
We have to keep track differently cycling from the other. If we wanna do proper accounting.
Nancy has something to say about recycling.
Big comment, because I recycle a lot and have my whole life. And I don't recycle here because there's no recycling. I go over to Bloomingdale. Recycling can't be done by a bag because there's
You
very,
can't put the bag in it.
can't do it by a bag because there's so many different kinds. There's cardboard, there's plastic, if you start to do it by a bag, it doesn't make any sense.
How much,
Okay.
how do they charge you then? Or
They
don't
don't
they?
charge us for recycling, they only charge us for garbage.
Entering.
Yes.
Yep,
And
that's
for
what-
other things that are brought in, like furniture and.
Arlington Township the same way, and I just met with people in Bloomingdale today. So that's why I'm saying,
So right now, we're not gonna, we would like to not charge, make a pilot program and we can review it
correct,
and see.
correct.
So we're gonna have, I think we're gonna leave that account in there. We'll just set it at 0. That's all right with you, Gary?
Fine with me.
Okay, do we kill this cow?
Okay,
Unnecessarily so.
so no action on the fee schedule.
Yeah.
What about this? We need a motion for this.
The ticket's going to 0. We're decreasing by 12,200. I'm gonna give you the sheet, you're gonna use this when you do that.
Right.
We're gonna have the recycled disposal is gonna be at 1,750. We're gonna add 250 to the maintenance and repair. We're gonna add 500 supplies and furniture for whatever they have to put in the shed. And then we're gonna give a total of $9,700 for what the board approved previously.
Correct.
And that gives you $12,200 and a decrease.
Okay.
And then that's what should be on our resolution, wherever that's at.
So,
So we'll know if it's being used, but how many times it needs to be.
Correct. Correct.
So is that the resolution?
no, hold on, right here. Could be resolution 2025-010.
Yeah, your decrease of fund balance would be zero.
Okay, to
You
change
just
that.
want zero in there. Yeah.
Covered.
Or say no increase. Just say no increase. No,
What's the?
no change of fund balance.
So do we need
Zero
an
one zero.
amendment?
Resolutions.
Yeah, you're moving.
Okay, I'm
money
sorry, I
from
just
different
wanted-
things.
okay,
That's
okay.
all.
This is great.
Right?
Okay.
But yeah, that, she raises a good point since it's all in 101. And it's an even out, do you even need a budget amendment or just because you are moving it from line?
So you need to put the line, not the.
Well, according to,
If it's, we go by department, not by line.
that's right.
So if the
And-
money's in there, we're fine.
And,
We're taking it from another department.
and our attorney said.
We're
we
jumping
really don't
departments.
It is, okay, that answers the question.
Well, cause like the amendment or the resolution. General
Yeah,
fund
they're all-
balance,
Yeah, they're all
500.
general fund, but they're
So
different
what's
departments.
that gonna be changed to?
The fund balance does not change. No change to fund balance.
Right,
just don't
it'll be zero.
It's gonna come, it's gonna equal.
I agree with you, Karen.
I just don't understand the point of the resolution if it's zero, like it's not changing. Do we need to put the department changes in there, in the resolution?
Well, that's what we're doing.
Okay, so
What-
this is
what-
attached to
what-
the resolution.
What Becca's gonna do is take this and she's gonna fill out, the amendment in, BSNA using these numbers. And everything will work out fine if she makes those changes, decreases this and increases that. And the reason that we're doing this is because we're coming out of apartment 265 and putting it in,
526.
526, okay? And that keeps your blight money.
Yeah.
Okay, that was, what did we just kill there? We killed the,
Clear the room.
that took care of 4 and 2, right?
Do we need to
Right.
approve that resolution or no?
4 and 2 is done.
The resolution, you just did.
You just did the resolution.
You didn't vote on it.
Nobody voted.
We did the budget amendment.
Yeah,
Now what's the other one we gotta do?
The,
I make a motion to approve resolution 2025-010.
yeah. As,
Jason and Gary. Jason,
Yes.
Gary,
yes,
Cara,
yeah,
Ken, yes, Mary,
Yes.
yes. Now we're going to purchase order for the transfer station shed, right?
correct.
Yeah, back in line. This is yours, right?
sure.
Gary, run us through it.
Okay, I have a purchase order, ready to go for Yoder's, building. For, the amount shown in the, in the, proposal, which is, the lowest cost that we could get was $47.10. And that's delivered. And I also have, request the release of the payment at 10%, $471 on deposit, so we can get this building built. It's about a 4-week process to build it. So my motion is to approve the purchase order for Yoder Portable Buildings in the amount of $4,710 delivered There's no tax on that because we're a municipality. It's for a 10 by 12 portable building.
Just one question, do you have any excavation work you have to do?
And no. No, the base is gonna be crushed concrete leveled and compacted.
And that's all part of
It's
the
all part of it.
$4,710?
No.
No, that is not. This is just the purchase order for the shed.
Okay,
We don't need purchase orders for the others because they're.
do you have the purchase order?
I do. I have two of them.
It's attached to.
So you can sign both of them. We can keep one for the file.
We do double that, so I can have them too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not joking, that,
Yeah.
Is that the right size?
you said 10 by 20,
No, 10 by 12.
10 by 12, pretty close to what's down
Yeah,
there, at Station One.
yeah,
We can get two for one deal.
$4,700,
I don't know if it work,
$4,700
okay,
delivered.
it's a zero accent, with zero accent. I'm teasing, I'm teasing, but yes, no, that.
Gary made a
Start
motion,
cruising out there.
did we get a second?
I'll second. Let's get this shown.
Gary made a motion. Jason seconded, roll call, Gary,
Yes.
Jason?
Yes.
Cara,
Yeah,
Ken, yes, Mary,
Yes.
Cara, whatever that. Here. See, we're going to. We need to
See
put,
you afterwards.
I'm gonna. You should have just.
Sure, he's got the right number
there.
no,
Especially the.
that's
he
right.
didn't put it underneath.
$2,000.
That's the maintenance number. So it needs to go under this one. Yeah, that's it.
That's it, that's the right one, okay, you gotta approve the budget,
Is that my new office?
you gotta sign there.
Just tell my pen.
Left.
Stealing, that's the, here, sign there.
No,
Is this the townships?
yeah, correct. Yeah, give me the township.
Leave it in the car. Okay, we're at J5.
We moved it around, so consider a moratorium on short-term rentals, police ordinance.
That's the same thing as the
Yeah,
J5, right?
things.
They're both the same, right?
Yeah, they were both the same document. I2 and J5 were the same, so we just moved it to J5.
So we're just doing J6.
This one, J5.
We're done with that one.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. We're doing J5. Okay, consider of enforcement action regarding short-term rental for vacations. Our township attorney has, generated a rental ordinance. And recommend that we, go 6 months. And what this does is it prevents anything new coming into the township while we develop a short-term rental ordinance, which has rules on what can and can't be done. Is there any questions on this?
Do we need to do a motion first to do discussion or?
Yeah, yep.
What was that?
Need a motion before you just do any discussion on it.
Can I get a motion to approve the short-term rental ordinance? Excuse me. The short-term rental police power
Moratorium.
moratorium. We'll see, what we wanna do. I'll make a motion that we approve the short-term rental lease power moratorium. Can I get a second?
I will second for discussion purposes.
Jason, second it, discussion?
The way this is worded. Maybe this is a question for did our attorney write this?
Yeah,
Establish a moratorium upon the issuance of any and all permits, licenses, and approvals for property for the establishment of short-term rentals. I don't believe we currently give permits, licenses, or approvals for short-term rentals, so I'm not sure how this moratorium helps us.
I was thinking as well.
May I say something? It's like, what if I thought attorney, may I say something? I spoke to the attorney too, since we gave this issue to you. And, it is a moratorium without any real teeth. It really can't be enforced. It's really more a way to alert the community that this is happening. You're right, we don't have a process. There is no way, you don't have to stand in line to get a license, but it's a way to say to all the owners right now, we're doing this. So it has no teeth from that standpoint. It just gives us the chance to take our breath, decide what you want to do, and let the short-term owners know.
It also stops anyone right now because our ordinance doesn't allow it.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't, cause it's saying that you can't have, you can't come to township for a license or a certification, but we don't have such a process. So it's an enforcement tool without any real enforcement. It's really more of a notice.
Stay, it's a stay.
Yeah. Doesn't stop people from taking vacations either that have already scheduled them, and that did come up at our meetings. Many people are scheduled out through beyond Labor Day, and some already are scheduled to next year. Doesn't stop current owners from abiding by the schedules they have agreed to already, which was of importance to us, that we not mess with that. So it's not perfect, but it's what we've been given as a tool.
You know, what's hard about that is because if I wanted to get around this, I would just say, well, I'm booked up for the next 3 years.
Exactly.
You know, so it's really,
It's really just a way to get notice out to folks. I mean, don't forget that we've been short-term rental for a long time. And when the township passed its R2 zoning ordinance, what do we figure, in the 60s perhaps? They did not carve out short-term rentals and exclude them, so they're happening. They're not illegal, they're happening. This is what other townships are doing. The attorney is doing exactly what other townships have done by way of a moratorium. Same language, nothing new there. Really more of a way just to let people know this is happening and they have a chance to weigh in.
This is the standard ordinance that they use for their other townships that they represent.
So this is just step one.
That's all,
basically.
yeah, gives you a chance to let people know this is happening and some breathing room so you can set what you want to do.
so the only thing this is really gonna allow is the board to come up with a resolution for the short-term rentals from when it's published going forward. Unfortunately, it does nothing with the ones that are already here and work. Now, the other thing is how are you going to know and how are you gonna police if there are, in our ordinance, if we say you have to have a permit or a license or whatever you're gonna call it. And then you're gonna have to have in there as well as, what is short term? Is it 3 days? Is it a week? Is it 2 weeks? What is it?
Oh, that's gonna be in the other ordinance.
Yeah, right.
And they have a standard for that too, and it's quite.
Detail?
Well, it's basically the neighboring property owners are gonna be notified. They have to give somebody that can get there in 45 minutes, that neighbor's supposed to call that person first.
Right, right.
And
right.
it's a whole thing like that before it ever gets into enforcement, letting them try to take care of it with the neighbors if they got somebody rowdy over there. But it's more than that. It's got a lot more, the rules have to be posted at the thing. There's got to be the fines posted inside the runner.
Sure.
If the owner of it is gonna know what the fines are, and basically what I was told by a couple of the owners, they're gonna apply. If you do this and cause this problem and I get fined, you're gonna get fined.
Well, that's between them. I mean,
That's between them.
That's a simple.
What I'm trying to tell you,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what they're
yeah,
telling me
yeah.
they're gonna do.
Yeah, I understand.
And I'm actually getting a lot of positive stuff that, yeah, we would like to do that, and we would like to have, these rules, because we don't wanna ruin the neighborhood either. Well, they're there to be there for a long time, and they wanna rent the thing, and if it's causing problems for the renters, they need to fix it. That's what I'm hearing from them.
Were there,
There is a time thing here, is that we're trying to actually get the other ordinance to you in a timely manner, because we know that they start renting out for next year around October.
Well, some were already pre-booked for next.
Some have already pre-booked, and what we're trying to do is make sure that we get this probably hopefully before October, but I don't think that's possible, maybe by end of November or December. But to start it, it'll take this to get going.
I don't know if this is a question, I guess this would be a question for you on the planning commission or you. Are there other avenues to essentially doing the same toothless warning? Like, could we just say, we're putting out a public notice to our township that we are taking up this issue as a planning commission? And I don't know, I'm just wondering, like,
I don't know why you couldn't, do that. Yeah.
and I'm not saying this isn't the best route, I'm just, I don't know, maybe seems kind of funny to impose a moratorium that we can't really enforce, or it's not even technically relevant. Cause if I wanted to do this, I would just say, well, this talks about permits, licenses, and approvals. I don't need that anyways. I'm gonna establish a short-term rental in the next 6 months. I mean, it's just, I get it. We gotta do something to get the ball rolling, but I just don't know if this is the best.
Saying, it's a tool, it's not perfect, it really is a notice, more than anything, it's a notice. And if I were you, I'd be concerned about property owners misunderstanding what it's asking, so that you don't get flooded with calls and people start to freak out a little bit. However you do it, if you want to just do a notice, you probably can do that too.
I suppose somebody could even construe this saying, oh, we issue permits for these things?
Right, I don't have one, right,
Permission.
you could get a lot of calls.
Right.
If you take this route. But the idea is, I mean, what I got out of it from the discussions with Laura, what I got out of it was it's a tool to officially get the word out that you're doing this. But it will be confusing because the word moratorium makes you think everything is coming to a stop, when in fact it really isn't. I hear you. It's not a kind of tool I'm used to using. It's what we're being advised.
This would not take effect for like 30 days after publication.
You guys are actively working on this as the PC regardless of this.
No,
though,
we're
right?
not.
That's a police ordinance.
It'd be a police ordinance.
Yeah, that'd be.
That's township board all the way.
But isn't under J6, you are working on developing an ordinance though?
No. No, we gave it all to you, and I think Ken's working with the lawyer on that ordinance.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a police power, so we don't have any authority as a planning commission to pass the kind of ordinance we're talking about
No,
here.
you gather information and make a recommendation to the board,
Yes,
and that's what this is.
correct, yes.
Yeah, so instead of a zoning ordinance, a police power ordinance.
Think about it, I mean, the very issue that you're talking about with this not having any teeth, because in fact, we have allowed short-term rentals to happen for a long time, even though we did zone as R2 resort. What the lawyers are saying, what the other townships are saying, is if you were to pass a zoning ordinance to stop short-term rentals, there could be things going on right now that you don't like, but if you don't identify them in another ordinance, they're grandfathered in. That's kind of what happened with the situation we have right now. The short-term rentals were all happening when the township decided to put an R2 resort label on the neighborhood, but didn't address short-term rentals in the ordinance, therefore they're grandfathered in. So now we have the issue with Airbnbs, and it's just a little bit big and loud, and, so
Well, what is the reference in this resolution then to the moratorium being 6 months or until such an ordinance is adopted?
ordinance would be a short-term rental, program.
We expect to have the ordinance adopted before 6 months.
Which would need to go through the PC.
No,
No,
it's a police power ordinance. You would have the
Okay.
authority. We
the
don't.
PCA has nothing to do with it. They're turning it over to the township board.
Okay.
I think since we let Kate talk, Mario has something to say too.
I think it might be wonderful time to read that petition of mine. This might add additional point of view and additional way of getting out of it.
Okay, I will read it. Petition to Columbia Township Board of Trustees, enforce existing zoning ban on short-term rentals in residential areas. To Columbia Township Board of Trustees from concerned residents and homeowners of Columbia Township. Subject, request for enforcement of existing zoning ordinance prohibiting short-term rentals in residential neighborhoods. We, the undersigned residents and homeowners of Columbia Township, respectfully urge the Township Board to take immediate action to enforce the existing zoning ordinance that prohibits short-term rentals in residentially zoned areas. Background, under current township zoning law, short-term rentals defined as the rental of a residential property for fewer than 30 consecutive days are not a permitted use in residential zoning districts. Despite this, numerous short-term rentals continue to operate in violation of the ordinance, and the lack of enforcement has allowed this illegal activity to persist and grow. We are asking the board to follow the example of Park Township in Ottawa County, Michigan, which faced the same issue, a long-standing zoning rule prohibiting STRs in residential areas that have not been enforced. In 2022, Park Township voted to begin enforcement of its existing law and later amended it to strengthen and clarify the ban. The action was upheld in court. Our concerns include noise and disruption. Short-term rentals often lead to loud gatherings and parties, especially on the weekends, disrupting neighborhood peace, loss of safety and community cohesion. The constant turnover of guests prevents neighbors from knowing who lives nearby and creates unease among residents. Zoning violations. STRs operate as commercial lodging in residential areas, directly violating township zoning rules and setting a dangerous precedent. Negative impact on property values. Home buyers are less likely to invest in areas with transient rentals, which can cause home values to decline. Unfairness to law-abiding residents. Residents who follow the rules should not have to tolerate illegal uses of property next door. Strain on limited emergency services. Columbia Township's emergency resources, including fire, medical, and other first responders, are already limited. Short-term rentals increase the number of people relying on those services without contributing to the long-term planning or funding for them. In an emergency where both a short-term renter and a permanent resident require assistance, this added demand could delay critical response for residents who live here full-time and depend on timely help. We respectfully request the board to publicly acknowledge and reaffirm that short-term rentals are not permitted in residential zoning districts under current township ordinance. 2, vote to begin active and consistent enforcement of this existing ban, including code enforcement, applying penalties, and shutting down illegal short-term rental operations. Provide a clear timeline for enforcement actions and a public process for reporting and addressing illegal short-term rental activity. We want a full and permanent ban on short-term rentals in residential areas, not regulation, not compromise, and not conditional allowances. This is a matter of upholding existing law, protecting our community, and preserving the safety, character, and long-term stability of our neighborhoods. We, the undersigned residents, support this petition and request prompt and decisive enforcement action from our elected officials. If I counted correctly, there's 73 signatures.
How many?
73.
Unfortunately, I have time to collect more due to my situation. There's another issue also. If we allow businesses in the residential area, are we going to allow other businesses as well? If we allow businesses like short-term rentals in the residential area officially, are we going to allow other businesses as well?
No.
Okay.
Right now, we're trying to get a moratorium so that no more come into the township and get established. While we generate a ordinance that is, well, I think Laura used, it has to be reasonable. They've been doing this for so many years, you can't just stop it without getting into legal action against us. So we need to work with them to establish some rules that they gotta apply with, like how many people can be in the short-term rental building, how many visitors they can have during the day. The use of the property and parking. If you can sleep 20, but you can only park 6, you probably are gonna be stuck with the 6 and not the 20. So there's a lot involved to it. I've looked at 4 other townships. I even looked at one that is not around here that deals strictly with a lot of lakes. And they all have a lot of ideas on how to handle it. And talking to Laura, they got another standard that they would probably be recommending to us. I did give her the lake one that required certain conditions around the lake of land use and impeding on other people's property and et cetera, et cetera. I expected to get something here by the end of the month or maybe before the next board meeting. And it won't be something that we'll sit down and pass. We're gonna have to get it out for like a first read, get a lot of comments on it. I also think we ought to be sitting down with some of the people from the that are doing short-term rentals, get their ideal on what we have in there, and then we ought to get some of these 73 people to sit down with us and tell us what their ideal is. And see if there's some compromise in between there that we can live with.
Would that be a public hearing or you're talking about separate little talks?
Well, it could be like a little subcommittee that we generate where maybe a board member sits with this group and a board member sits with that group, and we just try to gather all the information and bring it back to the board. Something we can do quickly and then try to work from there. Eventually, I'd like to do a public hearing, even though I'm hearing you don't need a public hearing for these. But I think it'd be wise if we bring everyone together and help us make the final decision on it.
So bottom line, this particular ordinance as Kate said, it's a first step with no teeth. But it's a way to notify the public what the board is looking at and what we're doing. And unfortunately, no matter what we do, it's not gonna please everybody, and we're between a rock and a hard spot.
Well, I think it's a little bit more and it's got a little more teeth because we actually can tell them that our zoning ordinance does not allow short-term rentals in our residential district. Well, there is no say of it. We haven't. I know that. They've been here for years. But that doesn't mean that they're here legally.
I know that.
Yeah, so that's kind of what that tells them. It's not really a part of our ordinance. We're stopping it till we can get some rules that we can live with.
Wouldn't that mean that maybe the zoning would have to be changed depending on? If you're saying that this is not actually allowed, isn't that gonna have to be? in the
When we do the ordinance, I'm sure there's, when we do our part here, the zoning ordinance will have to.
Match up?
We'll have to have some change.
There'd have to be some of the, references to this if you're doing rental.
Right.
It'll take you back over here, but
So to that point, I guess that's what I was kind of getting at maybe is if our current ordinances don't allow it, but I'm gathering that this kind of route is saying, hey, we're putting this moratorium on. It seems like we're pursuing a police ordinance that will allow it with conditions. And I guess the fact that we now have a petition with 74 signatures on it saying we don't want them at all, it feels like we should go the ordinance route and have a public hearing in the whole, I mean, it just. I don't know, we can't have ordinance out in the books that don't permit something and then we pass an ordinance as a board that does permit it. That seems like we're. And that's a legal question, I guess, but that doesn't, it just doesn't, it seems way murky and I don't know that we're going about it in the right way. I guess that's my thought, but we have a motion on the table, so.
Our township attorney is recommending that we go this way and she has a number of legal reasons of why we need to go this way.
Instead of just creating a resolution saying they're banned.
Right.
Well, I think in order for me to make an informed decision, I would need to hear what those reasons are.
I sent it to you on an email. I sent it to every board member.
According to the information on the petition, unless I misunderstood, this other township that's referenced in there started with an ordinance and then it was, for lack of a better term, it was tightened up more to not allow them or even the ones that were existing were not allowed to continue. Is that?
If they've got precedents, how do you stop? that?
Yeah, that's the part I think you're all missing that. You just keep saying, well, the zoning ordinances don't allow, well, on their face, they don't, but you could easily get sued by a property owner who's been doing it for years because it's been allowed.
Right,
It's a common usage.
yeah.
But also the world has changed. We didn't have Airbnb a decade ago. Now we do. So that's really what's bringing this forward. So it's people are buying cottages, knocking them down and building a commercial business for the purpose of renting it 24/7. That's a different world. And that's what everybody else is dealing with. So, I think it's important, whatever decision you make, it's not correct to say that, the short.
August 13th
not
at
allowed.
1
They are allowed
PM.
for common use. And when we changed our zoning laws to define it as R2 resort, we didn't address it then, back in the 1960s, or whenever we passed that R2 resort language.
I sent you the
Short-term rentals were happening then too,
Yeah, I
and
see.
we didn't
Thank you.
address it in the ordinance. See what I'm saying?
No.
So they're allowed in single family homes and dwellings as they're happening. What's changed is that people are coming in and doing full-time commercial businesses.
Isn't it true though that they didn't rent their houses out back then? We were R2 and resort, residential resort, they were resorts. They were like 5 or 6 little cottages. People from, that's why I understood it. I
Or
can't
could be a family
imagine.
that used the home most summer, but maybe a couple months they didn't, they rented it out. That seems to be pretty common. There's a lot of people that use the home, but then they have a little bit of time left that they'll rent out. but it's just not correct to say they're not allowed. They are allowed as a common use and have been for a long time. And we didn't exclude it under R2 resort. So now with the advent of Airbnb and this corporatization of, if you will, of short-term rentals, has really caused problems, which we all understand, they're real. But, and that's why townships are revisiting their ordinances and tidying them up to make it clear going forward. If you're gonna be a short-term rental person, this is how we wanna handle it.
At what point is something considered commercial instead of be allowed through common use? You know what I mean?
Well, the courts say short-term rental is a commercial use. But even some of that law is all in the last, those cases are all in the last few years. As people are getting up in arms about the magnification of the short-term rental.
Well, that also then, if it's commercial use and designated as commercial use, then of course the tax consequences as far as property taxes could change.
Yeah, that's out of my league, but.
Well, I
you're probably
know,
right.
I'm
Yeah.
just
But
saying.
commercial is not allowed in R2, so that's where the argument comes in.
Well, if we don't want it in R2, it's not allowed. So if I'm a short-term rental owner that I've been renting since 1980s and you put a moratorium, you tell me I can't, I might have a case
Right,
saying,
Right.
oh, no, wait a minute.
Right,
right.
You know, I've been doing it, yes, in your ordinance, it's not excluded, but when you wrote your ordinance, this was already happening, so this was grandfathered in.
Mhm.
So, again, what's changed is the Airbnb world.
right.
That's the change. Nobody's talking about, you didn't have these issues coming up before Airbnb, right?
Right.
Some of you lived your
Well, I
whole
think
life.
that's what Mary alluded to. The people had a home on a lake or wherever. And it was a second residence and they used that for vacation time and
Mhm.
they didn't rent it out. They just,
So.
Uh,
In a quick review of this document. I have more questions, but it's attorney-client privilege, so we really can't discuss it. So. Do we need to just? Table this and have a special session, a closed door meeting? Cause I mean. Can't say anything about this, but I have questions regarding this memo. Sorry.
Well, we can just table this the next month. Then Laura will be here next month and we can go into closed session with her and she can tell you why. Why this is going the way that she wants it to.
would this be able to be added for tomorrow night's meeting?
If we're all there.
5:30.
18 hours, get it posted.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't, 10 o'clock, right? That'd be rushing it, I guess.
No,
We already have a meeting scheduled and she's
Not
gonna be
to
there.
get in closed session.
We have to announce that separately.
No, maybe not.
It is not legally required to
We-
have every agenda item listed on your posting, but
Yeah,
we could still make an 18-hour thing, but if we're all at the meeting, we can add to the agenda.
that, right, if
I
there's,
guess we could have it after the meeting, but we don't know what time the meeting's over.
8 o'clock.
Your dream.
Oh, my computer died, I guess we're done.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
Sorry, I mean, this is,
It's an
we need,
important
yeah,
topic.
this is an important topic.
I,
and we need to-
I will tell you what, Laura could have a private conversation with you and then she could have a private conversation with anyone else that wants to have a discussion about it.
well, she can do two at a time. That's not a quorum.
She can do two at a time. Yeah, if some of you, two of you got questions, go. Sit down. I'm telling you what she was recommending to me and that she thinks it was the best way and she got reasons why and she can tell you the reason why. Where we at?
Since she copied this.
We're going to,
Well, we have a motion on the table, so
Oh,
we're
yeah.
gonna do something with that motion.
the motion was to approve the
Moratorium.
moratorium on the short-term rental. This part.
You rescind the motion.
Well, we got a second. We might as well just go ahead and vote. Jason,
No,
Tara,
No.
Ken, no, Mary,
Abstain.
you what?
Don't abstain.
Oh, you're abstaining because of conflict, okay. Gary,
Just pick one, it doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah.
Okay,
Who wants to get on a conference call with Laura with me tomorrow?
She'll be here.
That's right.
update, short-term rental ordinance development. The planning commission has turned over the short-term rentals to the township for a police ordinance. The township attorney opinion recommend a police ordinance for short-term rentals. The township attorney is in the process of providing a draft short-term rental ordinance for the board to review and consider. We need to consider advertising and social media and other things once, we get a kind of a draft of what the rules are. So basically, no action there, just telling you that, and that'll be delayed too. Consideration of Thompson Cemetery, headstones. They discovered, buried 2 inches below the ground grade, in the cemetery, a non-maintained area. Need to determine what actions to take to locate flat headstones from over 150 years ago located on the Thompson Cemetery. I gave you, an email between Mike and myself on the cemetery. There was a lady that, contacted me and she found her great grandfather's tombstone. It's, what is it, it's just plaque like that underground of 2 inches and outside the area of the cemetery, right?
If he stood back to the other, standing tall now with clamps on it, I didn't even know it was there.
Yeah,
Archaeologists.
At the same time, like, how are we gonna, we're gonna go through the entire cemetery and search for it?
and I guess Michael needs some direction. I don't know, how urgent is this?
I don't think it's. Well, I mean,
We could do just a little bit of cleanup. I don't, do we find more? I mean, I'm thinking there's probably more out there. If there's,
in that cemetery, maybe, I don't know.
I thought she said she found a few more.
I think she said she found another relative.
Another relative?
Well, if any area isn't maintained, the growth is gonna continue.
Yeah.
So there could be more.
I mean, these are one of them that she talked about, it's in the middle of the cemetery, so.
Oh.
That's not from the old growth, it's
No.
just, it fell over 100 years ago and
There it is.
there it is.
What do we wanna do with this right now?
Is that this $3,200, no. But I'm down too far?
That's the next one.
What's the cleanup, tree cleanup?
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
guarantee that's in every cemetery, it's not that bad. But, you know,
I think we really have trees that we need to worry about. That we have in the budget. We have trees that are falling on stones and could fall on people.
Well, we're at J7, is that where we are?
We're at J7.
Okay. And this is,
What is the proposed action on J7?
We don't know. We're asking the township board.
Okay,
Could you prod over there? Maybe see if you can find anything else? Would that be very time consuming?
yeah.
Is there really
go poke around.
is there value to the time?
Well,
What's the
then-
ROI on this? If there aren't other people calling and saying.
Yeah.
"Hey, I
Honestly, there's not almost any activity in that cemetery. You've only seen 2 times, activity back there. Things happen.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Fix it as they come.
Why don't I just budget something
Then
in
there were
the
5.
cemetery for next year to do some
Stones.
cutback over there?
Gluttons for punishment, we're still here.
What do you wanna do
So,
about it?
Framework.
Mike, what
What do you wanna do about it?
I mean.
We've
I
got
have no
leaf
idea.
cleanup and everything else.
For any way to make this a school project.
I think we should just handle it as they
I mean,
come.
if there's. you know,
What was that, Kurt?
Just handle them as they're found, just like this case.
Or maybe they'll.
Well, the thing is, that's personal property also. Headstones are
Yeah,
personal
exactly.
property, so
That was my thought. too,
it's
like,
kind of like the
even if
family
it's
goes out and
out,
finds. something.
Right.
legally, I can't touch it.
Yeah,
So,
Case by case basis.
yeah.
No action.
no action, let's.
No action.
We're just gonna take no action then?
Yeah.
no action, we move on. Consider Thompson Cemetery tree cleanup estimate. Is that Thompson Cemetery or supposed to be Breedsville?
That is Thompson.
It's a new.
Was that for the same thing?
It's the same cemetery, just, mainly
New trees.
overgrowth and stuff.
That's the one on 46th Street, right? Up
Yeah.
there by 390?
Yeah,
Yeah. There's definitely multiple headstones that we can't even get to because of trees.
you got an estimate?
I contacted 2 tree guys and that was more the lowest estimate that I got. I think I provided that.
3,200.
3,200? Yeah.
Mary, we got any money left in that budget?
Yes, we do.
We just spent 4,900 on Breedsville. For tree removal,
We do have money in there.
huh?
We have money in that budget.
We have enough to do this one too?
We have, yes. And then we've got to get a quote on, fall cleanup too, so we gotta watch it. But yeah, we still. Yeah, we're good. So,
This cemetery is probably needed in 2 years ago. I mean, nobody's back there and
Yeah, yeah.
it's just like. Finally, the road is scratching the truck and the trailer and I'm like, okay, this.
I've been back there a couple times and it has not been,
It needs
well,
help.
yeah, it needs, yeah, good point. They need
There's
to-
money in the budget. I make a motion to approve the estimate for cleanup at Thompson Cemetery.
Not to exceed what?
32.
3,200?
Estimate number 4942.
We're gonna go with estimate, whatever that is. Jason's made a motion, do I get a second?
Second.
Gary seconded, Smoney, Jason?
Yes.
Cara?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Ken, yes, Mary
yes,
and Gary?
Yeah.
Yes. Jeff McNutt asked if he could have a garage sale at the township parking lot. Wants to try it this year to see if maybe next year he can get together and have a community garage sale at the township parking lot. He wanted permission from the township board to have one.
I don't think that's, I don't think it should be done that way, because if you allow this, then other people are gonna say, well, I want to do this, and I want to do that, and I wanna have
Farm market,
yeah, farm market, or,
craft show.
yeah, anything.
We have a big old baseball field. Turn that into a vendor market.
Done with
We
traffic there.
have done community events before, but it's been.
Yeah, we've had garage sales in here before.
Well, they were craft shows. You
Was that
just
a craft
didn't
show?
appreciate the art.
Well, actually, I thought it was a garage sale. They had a lot of stuff for sale on there, the little stuff that you could buy, even tools and that.
the only thing that's coming across to me is that we're renting the hall for $150. We're charging people for this, and then we're gonna say you can use that for free, but then we should let people use this for free. We have a liability.
Or can I park my car out here that I wanna?
Yeah.
A lot of people would like to do that, if they have a car for sale.
I mean, if we had an organized farmer's market or something and somebody headed it up, but I don't know if we could do individual garage sales.
He likes to do community. events, don't he?
That's me.
Well, the answer you'd like me to give him is no? Is that kind of the consensus I'm hearing? I don't know if we need to vote on it. Not on our policy. Right?
Yeah,
I'm just afraid of what I would like to see more
Yeah.
community stuff.
I mean, I
but-
know Jeff and I know what he wants to do. I understand that, but
But it might not be a bad idea to have one a year or 2 a year, that's a community. And get it all over with.
See if he wants to host a community garage.
He's saying
Well,
this
he-
first one will be his personal one to see how it works.
Well, we've had community, garage sales here. I can remember, Mike down there had a hot dog stand and, all that
Now, is
back
he
in the
wanting,
day.
why doesn't he have it?
Was
at
that
top?
40 years ago?
Cause he.
That was, before I was ever on the board, so that had to be.
Well, we either say, you have it in here, you rent it,
Wheelchair.
or you make it a community one. So everybody can be involved, I don't know.
Okay. The next four, we don't have to do tonight, so we can get out of here, but I put those together so that we can start talking about it for the August 2026 election.
When does my chair thing come up?
Huh?
What number am I?
You're next,
We're on 10, 11, 12, and 13.
you're next, Mayor.
Okay, speaking of renting the hall, Ruth has actually done a pretty good job with that. We've had a wedding here, we've had all kinds of fun stuff. We have made $900 at the hall for hall rental.
Woo-hoo. Really?
Yeah. So we did have an issue with chairs. We needed chairs. We didn't have enough. JC wouldn't let us use them, so we had to go to the church and borrow them. But that should be full. That used to be full. And we're having bigger events with more people, so I would just like, if we need more chairs, should we, should we at least have enough chairs to fill that? But now you're saying that you may have some, if you guys buy chairs.
You wouldn't want those. I mean,
We don't want
they're
those
junk.
either. Okay, so I would like to make a motion that with
Well,
the rental,
are we on an agenda item here?
yeah,
14.
We
Where?
added it.
Where's the agenda? Did I miss it?
We added it to the agenda.
Yeah.
I think it'd be
So,
J
okay,
so
16,
10, 11, 12, 13,
no action.
they're
no
just,
action.
they're just there for no reason. Okay,
They were just in there to get me riled up.
okay,
Sheriff.
So chairs or tables, whatever we need, not to exceed the $900. I just think that if we're making that kind of money, then we could maybe put it back to, I don't know.
Mary made a motion. Do I have a second?
A second.
Kara seconded.
How many chairs were buying?
It doesn't matter, not to exceed 900. We're not gonna.
It's not to exceed $900.
Good. Well,
We might only need, I just wanna fill that up. With
Okay.
the last meeting we had here, we ran out of chairs.
Did we really?
Oh yeah, what was that, JC?
We
There
had
was always
two.
15.
When you did your presentation, we ran out of chairs.
Well, we had,
Well,
we had
Your
the
fault.
satellite property association meeting here, we ran out of chairs.
Yeah, so we don't even have enough to house the satellite people.
Well, we have,
Each of them double.
occupancy of 100 people in this room, so
So I want 100 chairs. And I have 69.
you're gonna get 100 chairs.
I'm
and
gonna, I don't know how many chairs I'm gonna get. I'm not gonna exceed.
You're not gonna exceed 900.
I only
Okay.
need a couple.
Okay,
Yeah,
then-
Mary made a motion, Karen seconded.
We gotta vote all vote.
Gotta vote. Mary's gotta vote first.
Yes.
Carr,
Yeah.
Ken, yes. Gary,
Yeah.
Jason,
yes.
okay.
I probably could have got them at that guy's garage sale. So I probably just cut off my nose.
Well, we're probably gonna go down to Kentucky to buy them.
Now we got the generator, agreement with Sherwin Electric.
That's 17.
J15.
Yeah, I think I have, it says J17, but
Oh,
I don't know. This, you
You'll
know
fix it
how,
later.
you know how iCompass is.
Yeah.
Okay, do I have a motion to,
I vote
contract with, Kerwin?
Kerwin Electric. out
Kerwin
of
Electric
Kalamazoo For maintenance on our Generac generator. They've worked on it in the past. They do a good job. They're prompt.
Not to exceed.
Well,
Well,
no, we can't do that because if it needs a new battery or something, it's gonna exceed it. But the service call is $200. And that's what their contract called for.
But it might need additional, so it might be like,
Well, do you wanna bump up the, not to exceed something else?
I don't know why, because the amount that they would charge is gonna be less than $500, so you don't need a motion or anything,
then why are we talking about this?
huh?
Why didn't you just give this to Kara to pay?
Well,
Or did you just want?
What's the motion for, right? Just tell me.
move to approve Current Electric for maintenance on Generac generator.
Do you want?
I would prefer a motion.
Okay,
Doesn't really need one, but I would prefer it.
okay. So who just,
so there's something that's on the books, because I had to call around when somebody said, who serviced this before? And I said, who knows?
good
It's
point.
like, when was the septic tank pump? Who knows?
But if it does need repair, we don't need to come back for that, so we can just
That's
approve
right.
this, and then we can get repairs if it needs
This
it.
isn't this doesn't have its own budget line item right now.
It'd be under
It means
maintenance for the hall,
Township maintenance,
township maintenance.
and there's plenty of money in there.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we enter into the agreement with
You're
Berlin
second,
Electric for the generator.
you're seconding.
Oh, I'm seconding it, okay,
I made the motion.
oh, good, I'll second you.
Oh, Gary,
Yes.
Mary,
Yes,
Ben, yes, Carl,
Yeah,
Jason.
Yes.
so we need to get that check out and the one for the down payment out.
We already discussed the cemetery headstone conditions,
For the,
right?
to what?
We already discussed the cemetery headstone conditions.
Oh,
yes,
yes.
We have a Mike Gilbert to send us something about 24th Street Blight. Gary, you met with him?
I have in here, if you look under the blight, it's in here somewhere.
Oh, the blight report.
The blight report.
It's at the beginning.
No, I just got that a couple of days ago, and I've been busy with other blight, situations that I've been taking care of. Here they are right here. But the ones that, I already gave Kate some updates on the one that came in. And I've got 23 other ones that I have been working on. That some of my observed and some of them are unknown. They just come in and Ruth gives me the complaint.
In addition to these 15,
In
there's
addition-
23 more.
Yes. And I have closed out, 9 of them I observed myself, just driving around. And I have closed out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of those because the trailers have been moved or burned or, yeah.
No,
I have a gas can I take with me.
Like stuff on fire again.
And then I.
We're still recording?
Then I called JC.
That's what. That's where all those fire.
That's half JC's call.
No, either the garbage or the trash or the trailers have been taken care of. A couple of them were unfounded. A couple of them were private property, things, and a couple of them were road commission things that we had no authority over. And I contacted those people and advised them of that, so I closed out ours. I'm working on the other ones. I've given Kate a couple of updates. On the 17th, I went around to 5 more and contacted them. So they are in the works. And the ones that are actually zoning, I've taken pictures and those will be uploaded to Tasha. Tasha and I met. And there's a process she's using and she's gonna take care of the zoning issues with the actually the trailers and the automobiles that aren't in the fenced or in a building. I've also taken care of 3 of them that were concerned on multiple trailers on a lot, and I've checked with Busick, the migrant inspector, state inspector. And those were legitimate migrant camps. So I'm processing them fairly quickly, but I'm not going to inundate Tasha with 8 or 10 or 12 of them. I told her, cause I know she's busy and she does other things. And she's taking care of the ones that are in there already. So I said I would be sending you probably maybe 3 or 4 a week. And she was happy with that.
The Lawrence, they have a police officer, they have their deputy, and he's got like a real legit system that he uses, and he goes and
Yeah,
he cites them, and 10 days later, he cites them again.
Yeah.
And I thought we were gonna do citing for $180. I mean, is that something we can have Jeremy talk to?
that's what I used to do. And I had it
Okay.
on my schedule 10 days.
Yep, because we're at the top of our budget here for you know, blight and stuff too for the attorneys. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to work on that
Yeah.
next week. But can we contact, and I talked to Jeremy about it.
Oh, good.
So maybe he can contact, I don't remember the officer's name, she said, but it's the one that does Lawrence. And
Oh.
he has a whole system, and does a really good job. Everybody's real happy with the townships. So he does 3 townships. And then they're just going like
Okay, I'll
this,
talk with
so,
you later, cause,
okay.
okay.
And if there's a way that we can implement these tickets. I saw something on Facebook, this lady's like, could somebody help me clean up my blight? I'm gonna get a ticket. For 180, it kind of motivated people, and then people wouldn't.
Well, we, in our ordinance for in our blight and stuff, our amount, our ticket citation amount is $175 for the first ticket.
Mhm.
So
10 days later, it's how much?
all Jeremy has to do is get out of the car and take care of it.
Well, I don't think he needs to be part of this whole conversation.
Oh, no, I understand.
And, you know, cause I don't think he knows what to do. So I think that if he talked to that guy, you guys all met, come up with a system.
Yep.
Cause Tasha's gonna get overwhelmed with it too.
I know.
And I've got a camper, or, you know, that messing around by me, it's gotten worse since the guy opened the store. Now he's got 3 semi-trailers full of junk out there on 50th.
Well, they're containers, but they're not semi-trailers, they're containers, shipping containers. I was by there today. He wasn't home.
What's the difference between a shipping container and a semi-trailer?
Semi-trailer with wheels. And
So that means
and
it's permanent.
roadworthy.
then. So that means it's permanent.
Well, it's
At least if
temporary
it had
building.
wheels, it would be a permanent fixture.
Well, this was temporary. It's not a foundation. It's a temporary structure. It's not fastened to the
Oh,
ground.
so I can get 5.
I-
Oh,
It depends on how much area that is.
I want that on the
compared to-
record, cause I'm getting 5.
Compared to your,
Okay,
lot size.
I got 30 acres. I can just line them up and put lots of stuff
You
in it,
can.
but.
You can.
You know, it's getting worse, and I'm not blaming you, Gary, and I'm gonna commend you. You've done a great job for one person, but this is not just your responsibility.
Well,
And it's a huge job, and all we hear about here is blight and recycling.
I know.
And I
know.
think it is way too much for you, and I don't think you should take it all on. I think we need to get you some help.
I don't have a problem if the people that are supposed to be working with me do their part. I don't have a problem. I handled 4 townships before. I did it myself. I had a system and it worked great.
Yeah.
And I was called in the sheriff's office and I thought, oh, I don't have my steel pants on. What's going on? And he said, basically, all the supervisors from those township said they still want me on their contract. They don't want anybody else.
And I appreciate that. That was great.
And I'm not a super dude. I just do my job.
Oh, you're Superman, but I think that you're a great guy, and I think that Jeremy can do this if we get him to talk with Dan Abbott and this other guy. Whatever system he has, even if Kate contacts.
I've
his
already
police
talked
officer.
to Dan Abbott and Casey, the Dunder Sheriff. The Under Sheriff. I
Right,
had a meeting with him.
so they're probably too busy. I mean, Dan's like top of the Michigan State, but we could contact this guy that has a system
I
and
can
meet
tell
with him
you,
and Jeremy.
if I don't know how many mileage, cause it's not on the report anymore, of patrol miles.
Mhm.
When he's doing his patrol miles, he can stop at these places and talk to people.
He works for us. Can't we just give the directive? I don't understand what the issue is. Give the directive and commit the resources.
Well, yeah,
I mean, that is not to say anything about the job you do. It's amazing, but like,
we can say.
What else
It's too big of a job for one person.
Yeah, we can say there's a quota you have to meet.
Well, in all fairness to Jeremy, I've talked to him before. He wasn't even on there's a Excel spreadsheet, a Google Drive. They didn't even have the right email on there. He had no clue. He only got what he got from you and Ken.
Well, see, the other thing is, and that's what I have, and of course he left, but I have to find out what's the best avenue to contact him. If I send an email, it's gonna go to the county, which is fine, but, if I text him, sometimes I never hear back from him. And he says, well, sometimes the phone isn't working right. I said, well, sometimes.
How about now, Kate, am I under the understanding that you're in charge of the spreadsheet?
I am in charge, I'm a keeper of the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yes.
the keeper of the spreadsheet, is there any way that you could contact this Lawrence police officer and find
I'd
out
be
his
happy to.
system?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I'd be happy to. And and my concern is if you're checking on some more properties, am I getting the information? So that.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
My goal is to give you guys an updated spreadsheet every month, so you have a sense of how things are moving
Right.
along.
Should
We don't
come-
have that
It
right
should
now.
come to the board every month.
Every month, yeah.
well, the thing is,
Yeah.
Gary's been trying to do it all by himself.
I
He can't do
understand,
it,
so
so we
wrong.
need everyone to help. So you've
Yeah.
already done a great job, but now you gotta let it go a little bit, let them do some work.
Well, we get a complaint, we divided up either Gary or Tasha. The sheriff wasn't
Well-
part of the meeting that we had and I don't, and I don't have any authority to tell people.
But right now, we have some new information.
Yeah,
The board has given the directive that we would like to talk to the Lawrence deputy on his system and then
Okay.
share it with Jeremy. I don't think Jeremy has a problem doing this. I just think just needs direction. That's my take on it.
It's been hard to corral him, it seems like, for getting meetings there. Does that seem true?
Well, I don't.
He was gone for a couple weeks.
Yeah, he
He's
was.
not here. Let's just wait till, I don't wanna talk
I
about it.
got-
He's not here.
I just got a question. Do you give Jeremy an action to go out and do something and he's not doing that, or is it just?
Well, I'm not saying he's not, but he doesn't get back with me on.
Okay,
I've got 5 of them on here that I gave him a while ago and I haven't heard a thing.
I'm gonna tell you what I think the problem is, Gary, and I had this
Well-
conversation with JC. What we did, we would drive down the road and see that, and we would automatically go do something, and JC calls them the young ones. They don't see anything, they don't, they don't remember to take a chair to an old man, I mean, they don't see it. They need to be cuffed in the back of the head, but we don't do that nowadays. But our generation, you saw a need and you went and did it. You saw needs and you went and did it. They're not, but we can't expect them to do it, and that was what he had to explain to me, because they don't.
Well, their
We're
work
in
ethic is a
denial of
lot
that.
different. And I've had a previous officer that was here saying, that's boring. I don't like to do that stuff. Well, hey, let me tell you something. You get into blight, you get into meth, you get into stolen vehicles, you find B&E things. If that's what you like, do the blight, cause then the other stuff will be there.
But I think we need to cut Jeremy some slack. Let's get a system that he can go with. I think it's,
Yeah.
unfair for us to expect him to do like you did, because he's not built that way. This young generation isn't built that way. So Kate's really good at systems. We'll get a system. We got a plan. And you
I
continue.
used to get out of the car at night, if there was a street light out, and I'd go up and get the tag off the telephone pole, and I'd call it in to have it fixed.
Case in point. They're not doing that nowadays.
No, they just have a street light
Yeah.
that's out.
Yeah, so.
Well, Gary, I'm
We made it.
impressed. 22 working and 9 closed out. That's impressive.
Yes, it is.
Good job.
That's not good enough.
Well,
Take the compliment.
it's a lot of, keep the compliment.
Okay.
You done good.
She did.
Okay. We got a letter from Nesbeth. We got Eagle board comments. Sounds like I heard a lot of them already.
You didn't have any public comment?
Yeah, he skipped that, I know.
Yeah, we got public comment. Any public comment? You're done for the night?
We're done. We're.
You guys are all talking during the meeting anyways.
Come on.
Okay, I don't hear any board comments coming out.
No.
I do have a board comment,
Nope.
sorry. Okay, when we're looking at the budget, we're at the max for, we're running out of money for attorneys, so we gotta figure out what we're gonna do here. We're gonna have to next month address this because we're gonna be over budget.
I do have one small comment. I was checking on the transfer station tower. And I was out there today. There's equipment out there. They're starting to stake out things, so it's in the process.
Yeah, they called me last week. I gave them a combination to get in. They said it'd be a couple weeks before they got out there. I guess they got out early.
Transfer station.
Thanks, Michael.
A lot of, Facebook comments about having somebody out there without a building, blah, blah, blah. Should we shut that down for a month until the building's up?
Where?
At the transfer station.
No, you don't need a month. They're gonna play it. I know, it can be used the same day it's pot there.
You misunderstood what.
It's gonna take a month though, right? For them to
Oh,
get
oh,
it.
oh.
I'm just saying,
You
The
mean
attendance-
before it's ready to go out there?
right,
he sits in his car and his truck, it's getting cooler now, so it's not a big deal. No, I don't think we need to shut it down at all.
I think we need to look at maybe cutting hours on Tuesday if we're not.
Well, I think that's probably gonna be the case, because when I was out there today, there was nobody.
Okay. Kate, do you guys find you're using it on Tuesdays? Okay. So we'll address that next month.
Wasn't that gonna end? That was only a summer.
There was supposed to be a 3-month,
I think through September.
Through September.
I don't know if it's
Yeah.
through September or ended at September.
Ended after Labor Day.
yeah, it's gonna end.
So it's
yeah.
almost over.
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally don't think that should be the same thing next year. I don't think we need it.
Well, we tried it. People asked for it. It didn't
Right.
work, so we know now.
Right.
Okay, we done?
Yep.
Okay, we're adjourning at,
No one answered my
7:50.
question.
9:53.
I'm, that's 7. I wish.
Thank you, Sarah, for telling me that.